Zoo, man. You learned karate from who?
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee?
Yeah. I did.
Oh.
I killed Bruce Lee. I broke his neck.
I thought he had a heart attack.
Broke that nigga's neck, bro.
Lord have mercy. Y'all heard my man Zoo, man. He said he broke Bruce Lee's neck.
Bang, let's start the fucking show, right? You're going to jail.
I will never leave you two.
I don't give a fuck about the fucking law. I'll beat your ass.
Don't come to my trailer again. You will be banned.
I'll beat your ass.
You officially entered the wet panty zone.
Oh, what's up, folks? We are live. We are live. We are live. And the little red sign says so. How are you guys feeling tonight? I know this is just crazy, folks. Folks, I had a doozy of a show planned for tonight, let me tell you. But then something came up. And when something comes up, you got to do what you got to do. So I do apologize if I'm stepping on some toes. I know this is a weird time of night for me to be streaming. But like I said, something's come up. And I want to thank Schneider's Handyman, a.k.a. Father Judgment. He was the middleman in this of connecting this whole thing. But the Frosts want to speak out. Something's come up. They want a platform. From what I hear, they're sick of Mr. Helton slandering them. And it's not like Von Helton would ever tell stories, right, folks? He wouldn't exaggerate the truth or anything. But we got some Frosts here tonight, folks. We're going to bring them up. Let me get my sufficiencies fancified. Let's see what we can get cooking here, folks. We also have a couple other special guests. So first, let's see what we got. We're going to add Miss Big Larry Frost to the stream. And he brought a friend. We got Marsha, and I brought a friend, Mr. Kenny KPZ. So just remember, folks, you're muted. If you want to talk, you just got to hit the little mic icon. Kenny, how you feeling tonight? Loose?
Hola, Luce. What's
Nice.
up, everybody?
I seen you over there on your channel tickling the ivories.
Just a little bit, just a little tickle. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, everything's going good. So, like I said, we were originally going to do something tonight, and then when the lulls come calling, who are we to turn a deaf ear? So, we got Big Larry Frost. I'm not sure if Larry or Marsha want to go first. I don't even know what's going on. I know Von Helton showed up in his best J.C. Penney suit on someone's live stream, ranting and raving the other day about power of attorney over his mother. I'm not sure what's going on there, but floor is yours. Who wants to go first? Big Larry Frost. Oh, you got to hit the mic icon, buddy. You're muted. Actually, maybe I can help you out here. Just a sec, Larry. Oh, I had you. There we go. Should be live.
Can you hear me now?
We got you.
All right. I just want to make sure everyone can hear. Yeah, well, Von Hilton, I don't think he's going to get custody of his mother. He's fighting me for it because he can't pay the bills and she don't want him to do anything. He's telling everybody that his mom don't do nothing for him. She does everything for him.
Now, he went to court the other day. What was that? What went on with that?
His lawyer didn't, so they had to postpone it till next week.
Well, yeah, I heard his lawyer didn't show up.
Not at all. The judge even called the lawyer.
Well, Vaughn has been saying that his lawyer hasn't been returning his calls. Just like I have to have a little sip here.
Well, first of all, you got to pay a lawyer to have a lawyer. He has no money to pay a lawyer. Except what he got from his
I had always
mother.
assumed he was using legal aid or something.
I don't know. As far as I know, he's not. I mean, he could be, but I don't see why a legal aid or lawyer would get involved in, this kind of case. I mean, what he's doing,
Right.
he's
I
trying
had
to
just
take all his
assumed that
mom's
he'd used a defense lawyer in the past.
Well, I mean, I don't know what kind of lawyer he's got, but I know Miss Alice has a good lawyer. And he's all on my side.
Woo, and just everybody, this is all breaking news for me too. I didn't know anybody was going to be on here, so this is interesting as hell. I guess explain it to me like I'm 5 years old because I'm just kind of catching up. But you're fighting for custody of his mother currently, or gotta hit that mic button too, buddy.
Guardianship. It's guardianship.
I see guardianship, right?
Other words,
Now,
I make sure she goes to her doctors. I make sure her bills are paid. I make sure she don't need nothing.
now, Marcy.
That's like Irvy's going around telling everybody I stole $1,000 from her. 2 months ago, I did post live that I'd rip his throat out. He ever says it again. And I didn't mean it. Next time he says that I stole money from her, I'm going to make sure his mouth gets wired. Because I don't let nobody talk bad about me. I'm not a hillbilly country folk like everybody. I'm a city boy. I'm a northern boy. We don't play games like that. You start talking about us, we go solve the problem.
Well, you heard that, Vaughn, if you're listening.
Oh, I hope he's listening. He knows. I go to his mom's house. He runs home. When I go there, he leaves because he knows. I've already told him once. I went nose to nose with him. Told him I'll grab a hold of him and drag him in the yard and whip his ass. I mean, the two things are going to happen. I'm going to get my ass whipped or he's going to get his ass whipped.
I'm going to, just in the name of transparency here, I'm actually going to send, if you guys don't mind, Von Helton a link just I don't think he'll show up, though. To be honest with you, I don't think he's got the guts to show up, but I have to do it because if I don't do it, he's going to say, they got to talk shit about me and I didn't even get to defend myself. So Von Helton, I know you're watching. I know you're out there watching this for sure. So if you do want to be a man and actually, fess up to the bullshit you've been spreading about everybody, or state your case, defend yourself, whatever it may be. Right now, as I'm talking, I'm clicking send. I have sent Von Helton the StreamYard link. You can take bets out there, folks. I'm going to bet that he's probably not going to show up. But now, Marcia, was there anything at all that you wanted to say?
I'm here if you want to ask me any questions to clear the air for myself and my family. If you want the breakdown of the story, I got guts and gory details. What do you want to know? My husband even has a lot to say.
Hello, sir.
How y'all doing?
Good.
Well, we all know what kind of idiot we're dealing with.
Well, yeah.
Anybody that's spent 5 minutes on any one of his videos can tell the guy's an idiot.
That's true.
I want to clear something up from this last video where he was running his mouth. His mother is my grandfather's sister. She's the only one still living out of 8 children. So her brother was my daddy's dad. So I don't know where he comes off with this distant relative, not even
Not even related.
Well, it's funny because when he was claiming to be 175% Cherokee, you guys were all related. He even went down to Larry's to.
Well, actually, we are somewhat Indian, but not enough to claim anything.
Well, yeah, of course. He actually claimed at one time to be in excess of 175% Cherokee. I don't know how the math works on that, but
he's claimed a million things. He's claimed he's an alien and everything else.
Well, this is true. So yeah. I mean, you guys know him. Just fill me in.
Him running my name around really pisses me off, and I can't legally do anything about it because he hasn't emailed me with it or,
Yeah.
He's still exercising his First Amendment right, and that's cool, but yeah, it's all lies,
Right.
It's ridiculous, some of the shit he talks.
Well, if Marcia's still around there, Marcia, break it down from the beginning, like what. I've never talked to you, so I don't know your affiliation, some of the background with Vaughn. You said that he slandered you many times.
I am married to Ron, been married to Ron for 25 years. Ron is related to Alice Helton, Von Helton's mother.
Right.
Just told you how he is related to Alice. I have been hired by Miss Alice Helton to go in and clean his house. He has a wide trailer. I'm sure you all you've seen the pictures, you've seen this, know what it's been like. I cleaned it before Andrea got there. I cleaned it the day Andrea was arriving. I was there cleaning it. Okay. Right. I was the one who let Andrea know that she was pregnant, and she was 6 months pregnant before she even went to a doctor. I had to be the one to tell her she was pregnant because they kept saying that she couldn't get pregnant. I befriended Andrea. I tried to help Andrea. Andrea would send me messenger messages talking to me about how aggravated she is. And I'm like, look, you need to tell him, I did not discolor, push away, nothing. I would never do that to anybody because I wouldn't want them to do it to me. Right. And I have raised 3 children. 2 have served in the military. 1 is still currently serving. And my youngest is a student in college right now. I would not ever teach a child to defoul and make a filthy mess out of the house. I would never, ever threaten a child. I've witnessed Andrea be a little rough with the children, but new mother, not knowing a whole lot, I coached her to teach her, like, look, this is not how we do things. Let's do it this way. I have scrubbed crap off of the walls because they would be in their bedrooms. Right. Okay. Right. I never told anybody, never got involved. CPS called me. They called me. I never called them. They called me and asked me and my husband if we would be willing to take his children because they wanted to place them with a relative.
Mm-hmm.
I would never try to take anyone's children away from anybody on purpose.
Right.
I've always said, you need to do better, James. You need to do better. You can't let this happen. If you do this, come on, James, get in here. I would make him help me clean his nasty house.
Right.
I
Now,
don't
Mark,
know what it, he has been face to face with me, nose to nose, screaming at me over something stupid, and then goes and tells his mother that I shove him. Hell yeah, I shoved him away from me. He had me pinned against his freaking computer desk, screaming in my face. So hell yeah, I shoved him away from me. And I
Right.
right in front of him, I said, Alice, he's lying to you. This is exactly what happened. And when she found out, she jumped his ass.
Mm-hmm.
So him slandering me had better stop.
Right. Right.
I've had enough. I have never badmouthed that man to anybody, anywhere.
I guess
This is his business. My business is my business. And it's taken me this long to have the guts to get on here and let you people see who the hell I am and tell my side.
Right. Oh, I think Kenny has a question here. Kenny, if you want to jump in there.
Yeah, thanks. Marcy, I appreciate you coming on too. I guess what I was curious about is I remember it was maybe a year or two ago when some pictures came out of the inside of Vaughn's place. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think those were taken by you. Was that correct?
Some of them, yes, by request of his mother.
I see.
Mm.
His
And I guess
mother asked me and another relative who was slotted to clean his house, which it takes us a week to clean a single wide 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom trailer, mind you, with Von Helton living in it.
so. All we really know is like the state that we saw from the pictures. I'm sure it pales in comparison to what you saw actually being there. Could you talk about maybe what led up to that and what we need to know about those pictures? Because there's a lot of controversy on YouTube right now where people are accusing other YouTubers of calling CPS to have Von Helton's children taken. So I just feel it's important so people really know what the real story is. Can you talk a little bit about that incident and what led up to it?
Pictures. Okay, I got subpoenaed to court right after I took those pictures. I showed those pictures to a family member because I'm like, oh my God, you're not going to believe this nasty. I got to clean up this time. I sent her 2 pictures. 2. Now, when I got to court, I never got to say my piece to the judge. Okay, I had to go into a room and I got to talk to the 2 lawyers that subpoenaed me and told. I in a room, just the 2 lawyers and myself. I gave them the pictures because they subpoenaed the pictures. After I got done doing this, Andrea's lawyer walked out of the courtroom with a stack of pictures, this big, okay? And she said, I want to take these home and look at them over the weekend. I'll bring them back to you Monday. I thought that was a little screwy to begin with, but, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know any, I was like, okay, that was weird. And I went on my way. Come Monday, when I seen Andrea return the pictures, the lawyer's looking through and he goes, Andrea, there's some pictures missing here. Where are they? Andrea said, oh, those were just of my kids. I kept those out. Now, mind you, I did not see what those pictures looked like. Not all of them. I seen about 1 or 2. Maybe 3, because they were thumbing through them right there by me. And next thing you know, the video on the internet of some of the pictures that I took. How they got them, I know not. Don't care. Never called CPS. Who called CPS? That is still a question. I think maybe somebody from the little town market that he frequents, because everybody in Oneida knows who he is. They know because they've heard horror stories, because myself and another member of the Oneida community has been in this house cleaning it, and they've heard horror stories. The school could have called CPS. Don't know. Don't care. I'm kind
Well, I figured it would have to be somebody sort of credible because I mean, people get the law called them on them on the internet, or CPS called them all the time.
Right.
And if CPS or the law shows up, and guess what? There's not a problem. They go away, and they have to respond.
Right.
And I guess my only interest in it is just the truth. And I myself have been blamed for quote unquote ruining Von Helton's life, right? So
I'm going to hell apparently because I blasphemed against God and split up his marriage. But
well, that's only
it's whatever.
That's after we get out of jail.
I know. I feel that.
So just to be clear, any of those photos, because I know how Von Helton is, none of those photos were doctored or anything. They were an honest representation of what was going on in the trailer, right?
No. Hell no. No.
I just wanted to bring up something quick since we have you here, and people have been asking in the chat as well. He had claimed as part of this grand conspiracy that the rotten melon was placed there, and you guys made the kids write, on the walls and stuff, and poop through their bed slots and stuff. But aside from all that nasty stuff, he claimed that the reason it was in such disarray was because he was bad sick in bed with the shakes.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about there. Never heard of that. And I will tell you this. I would go down there. I would spend a week to 10 days cleaning the house. Okay. A week to 10 days cleaning the house. And then I wouldn't be there for a month or two. So I don't know what happened between then and there, She would let other family members go in and do some cleaning,
It's hard to imagine you'd be so sick that you'd let shit get written on the walls, though, right? I mean, I've never been that sick, personally. That's like some death shit.
I'm a mother of 3. If you have 3 small children in the house, you don't get a sick day. Shakes or not.
Yeah, but if you take 3 small children and lock them in a room so you can sit on the internet all day and all night, they go to their own devices, and who knows what all was really going on in there. But it was
absolutely. So did all of y'all witness this like firsthand, or was it just you, Marcy?
Brother, we are the Von Helton fact checkers, you little asshole.
Fair enough. Fact check me, please. Good deal, man. So anything else you can tell me that maybe we didn't see in the pictures?
You asked me a question, I'm not going to lie to you. So I don't know what else I would.
Well, from between your cleaning stints, right? You said it'd be like maybe 2 months before. Would it get that bad regularly? Like we've seen it pretty bad there, like rotten Chinese food sitting beside the computer, stacks of.
You've heard Mama Helton come in and say, "Why don't you throw this in the garbage?" He'd have the biggest 33-gallon garbage can sitting in his kitchen. Okay, 33-gallon garbage can. The damn thing would be full. The kitchen table would be full of empty pop cans, old food containers. And this was even before Andrea got there, while she was there with the children. I've been in this state for 12 years. Okay. Lived down the street from them for the past 12 years. Been in and out of that trailer cleaning that up until 3 years ago. The first video that he come out and put little bitty Miss Layla on video, accusing me of showing her to do that, telling her to do that, and threatening her. That was bullshit, number 1. I loved it. I had a birthday. I threw them babies a birthday party in my house. I have a picture of his goofy ass cutting up at my house with them babies because they had to have a birthday party. If I was in the picture or around, I did not let them babies go without. I would clean them. I would bath them. After she brought the babies home from the hospital, I was there helping her and Miss Alice take care of those 3 children.
Yeah, he never really seemed that really involved in the actual raising of the children.
No.
He just, he'd always have these excuses, gag reflexes and whatnot, and I can't bath them. I can't do this.
Gag reflex him in a minute. This is ridiculous.
Right, right. And then many people have noticed is like every time that the kids seem to be taken, he almost treats it as a vacation. It's almost like a break for him. It's like, oh, the kids are gone for a while.
I want to say something and take note. I haven't had anything to do with his mother or that property down there in 3 years, and he's still running his mouth on me.
Yeah. Well, he does what he does.
That's kind of what he does. Yeah.
I never tried to take anything from my aunt or ask for anything from my aunt, and I never stole anything from her, never would. She's got nothing that I want except her love. That's it.
Well, he's going on that Alice had $6.5 million in the, like 50 pounds of money in the closet. People are stealing from it.
If anybody's doing the stealing, he better look in his own mirror.
Well, we've been kind of running that speculation that he's kind of been skimming from Ma's pot, because where else is he? I don't understand where else he's getting money. He doesn't work. The kids aren't there. He's not. I mean, he made that video about the Schwans in the freezer or the fridge out back, because I think he eats Schwans all the time on camera. So I think her and her she's in a sliding state.
Right.
And I think he was trying to convince her that you guys were stealing out of her freezer.
I have not stepped foot on that property in 3 years, maybe a little over 3 years, just because he's already slandered me. This last video makes what, fourth
Right.
maybe
When all that
I've
stuff
seen.
came out the first time, we just cut all contact.
The first accusation of when he put Lila on I've got copies of that video. I've emailed it to family members. I even went and talked to a lawyer about it. I've got a lawyer. I know he don't. I know I do.
Right. Well, that's been speculation too for a while about the lawyer, because again, he doesn't have any money. I think he's just dropping names. Again, I think he may have at one time had like a public aid defender or something. He keeps dropping that name and he's trying to call them or something, but
I don't know. I don't have any knowledge of that. The only knowledge I get anymore is when I call Larry or Larry calls me just to keep me updated on how Aunt Alice is. I actually got to see Aunt Alice because I was driving down the road and she was out at the mailbox, and I got to see her and she looks good, but I didn't get to speak to her because I have a few words to Mr. Von Helton. Keep my name out of your mouth.
Right.
Never done anything. He stood in his own living room and begged me, Marsha, please take my children and raise them. And I'm going, James, you don't mean that. Don't say that.
Wow, he actually offered his kids to you?
Yes.
And what was the circumstances around that?
He was upset over Andrea. Of course, it was about a year after Andrea, and I was over there cleaning, and he's just like, they keep trashing the house. And I said, James, the kids are bored to death, but you've got to interact with them. You have to play with them. You have to stimulate their minds. They are children. Do stuff with them. They're acting out. Their mother's gone. It's just you.
So he basically felt that his lifestyle was being disrupted, and he was begging you to take them, because it's been obvious to people that he dumps them off at the grandma's, right, for hours and hours and hours at a time. And
yeah, she's pretty much raised them children as best as she could, and the reason
that's the only reason he's still there.
That is the only reason that he's still there is because them babies came first before anything else, and them babies were the reason she got locked in her bedroom and fell out the daggone window and ended up in the nursing home for so daggone long.
Right, so that is confirmed. I mean, that's the story that's been put out there, and that's a result of him pawning his kids off on.
He was overtaking his precious little afternoon nap because it's good for the heart. And Mama had, I guess, gone to the restroom, and she has a hook and eye on her bedroom door because the kids don't need to go into Mama's room.
Right.
That's all well and good. And the kids climbed up on a chair and locked the little hook and eyelet. And the only way that she could think to get out was to open the window, and she leaned out too far and fell out the window.
Now, the story was she was in there for quite a while. Like, this was like a last resort for her, right, to get out?
telephone was not in there. She couldn't call nobody. That was the last resort. Thank God that the guy that was weed eating was there.
Wow.
Happened to notice her in the backyard.
How long do you think it would take, speculating, for Von Helton to actually notice something was up? You think he'd just keep sleeping and hanging out by himself?
Probably.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
I would go and clean for Alice. Her house is always immaculate and spotless, but you have to do spring cleaning with her because she's old school, and the walls and everything gets washed and wiped and scrubbed and that kind of stuff.
Well, what's Von's excuse? Like, I know recently what his excuses are, but throughout the years, like, I mean, this has obviously been a lifestyle, because it's night and day when you look at their trailers. It's obvious that Alice is somebody that's, clean, picked up, typical of someone her age and her generation, right? Whereas you go to Von's, it's just we used to make jokes about the stuff in the back. We used to call it Mount Trashmore, the mountain of garbage in the background, right?
Well, we used to name that trash. Remember that?
Yeah, we used to try to. Yeah, we used to try to guess what the heck was on the back. But the thing is, like, I mean, we're talking a man in his 40s and 50s. Like, what was preventing him from doing just basic housework?
Laziness.
So they would actually get someone else to come and clean a grown man's trailer, single wide trailer.
That is my I don't have an actual answer. That my opinion is laziness, because he knows mommy will take care of things, and when I think I've even heard him say, well, if it gets too bad, mom will send you back out here.
Right.
And I'm like, really, guy?
Yeah, who'd want to live in that? I mean, I just don't even get. I mean, just out of basic, who wants to sit around with gnats flying around your pizza and stuff?
Do you think the kids are better off where they're at now?
Do I think they are?
Yeah.
You're asking my opinion? Yes. That's my personal opinion. That's just because we've been around him for so. I mean, all children should be with their mother and father. I'm. That's it. I still have my mother and father. They raised me. I've been married to my husband for 25 years. If he would change and do things a little bit better, sure, give it back to him. But
well, do you think, I don't know how much you guys know about what's going on with the kids, but do you think there's a chance he's still getting back? Because I had heard that it was a done deal. He lost them.
I don't have any knowledge of that. We've
been out of the loop for 3 years.
All we know is what we've heard via rumor mills. I don't know. Now, from 3 years ago, I probably could have told you something, but that aspect, I don't know. Who called CPS this last time? I have no clue.
Right.
No clue.
Well, he claims the school got involved. There was a
well, I know before I did hear that he was not sending them to school when he should have. Yeah,
he was mad at them over, they were reporting him to CPS apparently, and he threatened to pull them out and homeschool them.
Doctor. He wouldn't. His opinion on raising children is the school needs to take the children to the doctor. And I've told him since this kid started school, James, it is not the school's responsibility to take your sick children to the doctor. That is on you, sir. Well, they have no. Get your butt up, go get your sick child, and take the child to the doctor. Well, the doctors are called CPS because they said the child was. Then do something about it, guy.
Right.
They're not saying it out of a hatred for you. They're saying it because something's not right.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just going to kind of change gears for a second here. I'm sure there's more questions, and we've got questions for Larry as well. But I just want to share. This is Vaughn actually just a couple nights ago. I'm going to fast forward to where he comes in. He's still got his court clothes on. And I haven't even watched all this, okay? I don't. But these guys are apparently suggesting they believe that abused children, especially sexually abused, well, not especially, but even sexually abused children should go back to the abuser. That's the argument that they're making in this. I know it's weird. It's Vaughn and his buddy G-Man. I'm also going to bring up another perspective here, folks. We have another guest joining the room. ladies and gentlemen, Mindbender. How you doing there, pal?
Hey there, pal. How are you?
Hey, pal.
Oh, that asshole. Jesus.
Oh, this guy. Oh, it's off the rails now, folks. But I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit here, where Mr. Helton actually comes in, and he comes in hot.
Typical.
Let's skip up. It's about here-ish. There he is. His Walmart best. He's got his Pinnacle. So here's a little bit of setup. Here's G-Man ranting. Then Vaughn enters, monopolizes the conversation, takes over the hangout. Even though G-Man starts off saying, I don't want to talk about CPS, Vaughn makes it all about CPS and the family. So let's hear what he's got.
Typical.
Getting in here. So I want to talk to serious people about this topic. I don't want to waste my time talking to people in here who's going to troll, because I'll throw you out. All right. So I got Vaughn Helton in the background. Does anybody else that want to come in here? The link is in the live chat if you want to come in here. Hey, what's up, Vaughn?
Hey, man. What's going on?
You're
As
still
you can see, I just got back from court earlier today.
Yeah.
I was in court earlier today. Now, it wasn't because of my kids. It was because of guardianship for my mother.
Whoa. Vaughn, slow down. Breathe. We're not talking about your mom. We ain't talking about none of that.
Actually, the two are actually meshed together. But
yeah, but if you want to talk about CPS, we can do that.
We're talking about CPS. Oh, we're definitely going to talk about CPS because see these trolls get on here and they say, oh, he had his kids taken 11 times. Well, what do you think CPS is going to do when you got 50 people calling him on the phone saying, you got to get out there right away and take them kids. Oh, my God, they're going to die. Well, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to come out and take the kids. Of course they are. That's exactly what they're going to do. When you got 50 people calling them on the phone, they're going to come out and take the kids, and they're not going to care about your opinion. They're not going to care how clean your house is, because that's another. Oh, well, his kids were so dirty, and his kids didn't have lice in their ear. His kids, whatever excuse, whatever flavor of the day, they're not going to care. You could live in the Taj Mahal, and if they got 50 people calling them, they're taking your kids because might makes right in a communist regime. Think about that.
I want to say something about that. I want to say something about that. It's interesting that you said that that might makes right, because they argue that against God all the time. But in reality, they believe might makes right, and they practice it all the time.
Well, see, that's the thing. That the communist. That's what communism states: is might makes right. That's what they believe. That's what a communist believes: is that might makes right. And CPS is a communist organization. I've already stated this publicly as well as privately, and I believe it is. And I believe that I have a case against them on constitutional grounds, because the government should not have the right to tell you how to live your life, how to raise your kids, or how to clean your house. And since we're on the subject of a clean house, let's be clear. The frost down here and the people on the internet, whenever they seen that there was the slightest bit of dirt on my floor or on my house or anything, like say in a video, or they heard it from the frost or whatever, they would call CPS over a dirty house. Can CPS legally take your kids over a dirty house? No, but they'll claim they can.
So I'm just going to give you a second to respond to that. I think you already touched on it before, but again, here in context, if you'd like to say a few words.
I'm tired of him putting my name on the internet. I have not once called CPS. The only time I had any contact with Children's Protection Services for James Vaughn Helton was when they were calling my household asking me to raise his 3 children.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good point to drive.
That's a bit of a bombshell there, actually. I had something.
So you want some facts on Vaughn Helton? Throw questions at me. My husband's standing here. He can give them to you too. What do you want to know? Because it was not me who called anybody about anything, nor will I ever. Now, after he made the first slanderous video, I called and filed a complaint, and I called the FBI because I didn't know who else to call, because it pissed me off so bad that I had to. Oh, my husband had to stop me from getting in my vehicle and going down and punching Squidward right in the face.
Right.
So I am still furious. He is still running my name in the ground when I have not once. I do not eat. I go to the town market. My friend Sheila says, "What are you doing today, Marcia?" "Oh, I'm just cleaning for Aunt Alice." "Oh, you over at Vaughn's nasty house?" "No, not today." That was literally said conversations multiple times.
Right.
Never once did I go in and say, oh my God, you're not going to believe this. Look at this nasty picture. Oh my God. I would not take my phone, my iPod, nothing in the house to take pictures until I was asked by his mother. So she could have a record to show the judge, because she has been wanting to throw him out. She's tried several times, but then she has a change of heart because of them grandbabies, because he holds them against her.
Wow. Well, it definitely seems like he's trying to manipulate. Again, some of this is speculation tied with some things that have been going on, but there is a concern out there because there was rumors. I'll just get to that. When he was with Andrea, she had stated that Vaughn had kind of messed with her medication on more than one occasion.
Andrea's medication or Alice's medication?
Well, it was Andrea's at the time.
Vaughn has we have no proof, but I will say this. He has a fear of taking medication. He says, you don't want to put that stuff in your body because you don't know what exactly is in it. And it could be something worse than what it is. But yet the man doesn't take a shower on a regular basis. And he's concerned about a damn antibiotic going in his gut. So if that's what happened, which I don't know because I didn't live there, I went in and cleaned, handled my business, and got the hell out. I would talk to Andrea privately because she needed a friend. God love her. She needed somebody, and everybody needs somebody. And I tried to be there for her. But then when she really started losing her mind, it freaked me out because she was standing in my home, standing next to my daughter, and reached over and tried to kiss my daughter. My daughter's 14 at the time, okay? And and I said, James, your wife is trying to kiss my daughter. He laughed about it. And I said, okay, well, you guys need to go. But, I mean, they brought the kids up there. We were watching Frozen together, but then you cross the line when you're trying to kiss my 14-year-old daughter.
Wow. That fits a certain MO. That's okay. Go ahead. I'm going to let you guys finish because it's interesting that you brought that up, but I have something to tag to that. But go ahead.
Oh, I that was crossing the line. So that was about the time they were at my house.
Why do I
that kind of
on Jerry Springer? I mean,
and that kind of segues into another thing that, like, kind of an elephant in the room for Von Helton that he's brought up before. Maybe somebody else wants to talk about it. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Well, he's been known for years to be very interested in young girls, right? And of course, he was caught willing to accept pictures from a naked 15-year-old when she was 13, supposedly, right? It was someone setting him up. Then he got caught. But it's interesting you brought that up because I was going through my video archive, and there's yet another incident that people forget about, but I actually found the video documenting it. There was a 14-year-old girl that had a YouTube channel. She was singing, making music videos, and one of them was about how expensive it is to live in LA, and he was sending her messages telling her how cheap it was in Kentucky and she should move out and stuff, and she was 14 years old. Do you know Von Helton to be like that? Obviously, he's okay with his wife making out with a 14-year-old family.
I do not, but I do know that I would not go clean his house unless I had someone with me. And here's why. Granted, I'm no punk. I was raised with 3 younger brothers. I'm a tomboy, but damn it, you cross the line, you're going to feel me. Okay? We were taking garbage out to burn because it was cardboard, so we were taking it out to the burn barrel, and he's like, Marcia, if something ever happened to you and Ronnie, or something happened to Ronnie and you need a place to go, you can always come here and we'll keep you in the family and I'll take care of you. And I'm going, no, thanks. That has crossed his lips more than once. So, I mean, I'm 45. So I wasn't that young when he was doing that, but I was like, thanks for the offer, but no thanks. Ron's going to whoop your ass. He finds out you said this. And he goes, oh, I know. Don't tell him.
all no, it's easy to sit back in the house your mom provides for you and run your mouth because I can't do nothing because I have a life and it means more than you do. I'd love to go down there and just bust his face one good time.
Well, I mean, I'm just throwing it out there as a side note. With all this compliance that he's talking about that the courts want to put on him, there's videos of him out there just from the other day saying it's all bullshit. He's going to sign, agree to whatever, but he's not going to follow the rules and stuff. Like, he's openly admitted that. So I don't know if that's admissible. I mean, he's kind of stupid for going publicly and saying that when he's in the middle of trying to get his kids back and stuff. But I mean, that's some bombshell stuff. But it follows a behavior that Vaughn has exhibited on the side. One of his many quirks is some pretty creepy sexual tendencies. I refer to him as an online sexual predator.
I personally wouldn't know, but I do know this. He has blocked me and my husband off of Facebook, but my 18-year-old daughter still has access to his Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that?
I think we got a little bit of echo there.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. But I just...
It's Larry. Hey, Larry, did you want to jump in and say something? There's a delay, so you'll hear the echo through his speakers.
Okay. Yeah, that is an echo.
To burn because it was cardboard. He's way back. So we're taking it out to the burn barrel. And he's like, you know, Marsha, if something ever happened to you and Ronnie, or something happened to Ronnie and you needed a place.
All right, Larry, when you receive this message in the future,
hit live.
You're gonna have to reload or something. I'm gonna mute you for a second. But I do want to ask you some questions. I got some questions for you, Larry.
If I can interject here for just a second there.
Go for it.
Have there ever been any really dark allegations made against how he raises his kids?
We know of.
Other than the dirty house that I've not really...
Now that we don't know as far as what the courts may or may have not been doing, you know, since they got custody of the children. We don't.
I don't know.
But I was like, yeah, Vaughn mentioned something about the court or CPS saying his children hadn't been exposed to inappropriate material online, if you want to just call it that.
That's not good.
I do not know. Okay. The new cleaning lady would have to attest to that. I don't know.
Is it true that this man in a huff got into his mother's car and ran it into the rail and wrecked her car?
He did wreck her car. What he was doing, I think he was going to town for some.
There was snow.
There was snow and ice on the road. It was accidental. Yeah.
As much as I don't like the guy, I know that was an accident.
Yeah, that was definitely an accident. The roads were slick, and he was going to get. Hell, he could have been going to the town market to get pizza.
Impala, that
yeah,
gold Impala,
because Alice is the one that wrecked the other car. So I I know for sure he did not do intentionally.
But just know he's lived with his mommy all of his life, and she pays his bills. Little jackass.
All right, let's move ahead with this a little bit. We got more questions, but let's see what Vaughn has to say about the whole situation here.
But I looked it up. They can't get it on a dirty house. The house has to be in disrepair. Well, what does disrepair mean? That means the house is ready to fall down on you. Okay, is my house ready to fall down? No. Okay, so my house is obviously not in disrepair. But they can't do it over a dirty house. And I've already been to court over this. I had a very young and aspiring lawyer that totally owns CPS over this issue. So I know from personal experience, they cannot take your kids. But now see what the people on the internet were doing. As soon as they seen that I had trash on my floor or something from where I was opening boxes, or they call CPS. CPS come out to my house one time on Christmas Day and took my children because Christmas wrapping and boxes were on the floor. I am not even kidding. Christmas Day. Do you have any idea how traumatizing that is to my ex-wife? Do you have any idea how traumatizing that is to my children? Do you have any idea that my children were kicking and screaming as they drug them out of my house, wondering why in the hell they can't celebrate Christmas? And these people in the outside chat, not these particular ones, but some like them, were the ones responsible for that.
No, I understand it. I understand, and it's not just you. It's a lot of people out there,
and it's and not just me, right? It's a lot of other people too.
Yeah,
not just
yeah.
me.
They
That's right.
call CPS on Shanny for Christ. They call CPS on a lot of different people, and I personally think they do it to control. Like I said, you say a lot of things on here.
They use.
Calm down. Breathe, man. Breathe. Okay, so you say a lot of things on here that a lot of them don't like and they don't agree. So
Correct.
they're going to try to use CPS as a weapon, as a means to control you and to get you to shut up.
Correct.
And they try to do the same thing with Shanny, and they're trying to do that with other people on here as well. You know what I mean? Do they have legitimate cases against people? No. But because Mr. Dennett suggested that this be something that we have in the United States, they put this into practice all the time. You know,
well,
I didn't even know that Daniel Dennett did it until I found that YouTube channel.
Well,
and they talked about it.
It's like that man said in the video. He said, you have people that have no concept of what this does to a family, what this does, how this traumatizes children. The children are so traumatized. Yeah, by CPS. You think my children are traumatized by being around their loving father, a father that loves them and cares about them? No. What's traumatizing is having 4 police and 2 CPS workers pound on the door demanding to drag my kids off like common criminals. That's traumatizing to children. That is traumatizing.
Right. And you have every right to be angry about that too. I don't understand why. Well, actually, I do understand why these modern day Jesuit demonic atheists on here would be happy about your children being taken away from you.
So this kind of speaks to a bigger narrative that Von Helton likes to put out there. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you have a few things to say about what just came out of his mouth, but what my point would be, just before you continue, I guess my point would be that, see, with Von Helton, there's a kernel of truth. Yes, typically just having wrappers on the floor, or maybe you didn't vacuum that day, that kind of stuff, that's not going to get your kids removed from your house. But doesn't it actually speak to the extreme situation that they must have witnessed? Not once, but 11 times remove the children?
How extreme do you want? I mean, I could go into detail. I mean, I don't know what all you really want to know.
Oh, we want to know everything. But I mean, I used to guess. I mean, I can almost smell his trailer sometimes, like, not to make light of it, but I'm thinking like a thick beef stew. Like, what is his trailer?
That's being nice.
I'm thinking feet.
So
that's why I'm going with feet.
He's talking about how he should be able to live however he wants, but when the children are left unattended for so long that they're playing with their own feces and making paper mache out of it and putting it all over the walls, that's a gross neglect case, you know?
Absolutely.
It was ridiculous because I was there.
And when the furnace man won't replace the ductwork because of all of the pee and poo.
Oh, we got your video back. We don't hear. I think we got you back.
My son was calling. Brian's trying to reach you, babe, on your phone. The ductwork was full of. I mean.
Okay, well, let's back up a sec. So they had to get repairs to the furnace, right?
Yeah, he doesn't keep a filter in his furnace, and she has to repair the furnace pretty much almost on a regular basis.
So he's so lazy, he won't even change a filter in a furnace once a year.
He says his filter is such an odd shape, he can't find filters for it. It is an odd shape. I have an odd shaped furnace cold air return, and it's in the floor. But I've got a filter in it because I do research, and I find what I need. And, he's on the computer enough, he can find what he needs. But in the children's bedrooms, the air ducts are in the floor. They would throw toys and whatever else, and there was pee and poo. I wouldn't go in there and clean unless I had gloves. I made Alice keep gloves in her house along with my bucket of cleaning supplies because I would have to have a putty knife and a spatula to scrape the walls and scrub them. It would take me 2 days to clean one bedroom, and bedrooms in a trailer are not that big.
And we're talking every few months, right? You said you clean like every
Probably every 3 months, but I mean, it would get to that point where I would have to do that. And I told him, I said, James, get up off your butt, get the kids off to school. That hour after you get them kids off to school, you can have the dishes and this house cleaned and picked up before lunchtime. You can have your lunch, take your precious little nap, and then get your children off the bus and do it again the next day. Not hard, guy. And he's like, no, you don't understand. And I said, bullshit, I do understand. I've raised 3 children. My youngest is 18. What? Don't come at me and tell me it can't be done.
So to be clear, the HVAC repairman would not put in new ductwork because it was a hazard.
Right. What would you want to crawl underneath the trailer?
No, ma'am, not at all.
And have that come down on you?
Not at all.
Well, and this is painting a picture, and I want to say I actually think you're being pretty objective and fair. Like, you're saying things you know, and you're not commenting on things you don't know. I think that actually adds credibility to what you're saying, because you're not just here slinging any rumors. You're just saying, listen, this is what I know. But I think that it's just interesting, just to put in perspective, just not to cut you off, for people listening. I mean, we have a situation, because we're wondering how bad is it until the point that CPS actually has to remove the children. But we have a situation where you won't enter the premises alone without gloves. And we know that there's ductwork so bad a furnace repairman won't, and that's circulating the air that they're living in.
Yep.
Interesting. I mean, these are pretty extreme situations. And this is in a matter of months. It goes in decline that fast.
Yes. I maybe not so much now that the kids aren't there. But then again, you know, like I said, I've been going in and out of his house since I've been here. I mean, I took care a couple years before the kids. Me and 2 other women had gone into his house, and it took us 7 days. The first time. And mind you, that 7 days was a thorough deep clean. And every time I would go in there and clean, it's a thorough deep clean. It's scrubbing the walls. It's washing the windows. It's pulling all of the furniture out, doing the dusting, everything. Because you can't just, because of how bad it would get, you can't do it halfway. Okay? You just can't do it. And little Jerry, God love that poor little baby. Oh my God. His room, because he was by himself, because the girls couldn't be in there with him. He'd be in there by himself. Okay. And I've had to paint his ceiling, Jerry's ceiling. Now this is the ceiling. 6 times with Kills paint to try and cover up the shit stain off of the ceiling, because the child threw the shit on the ceiling.
Shit stains on the ceiling, folks.
Absolutely tragic.
Yeah, this is the truth, though.
Stranger than fiction.
I believe you're 100% there, pal.
That's unreal, man. Wow. Jesus.
I've painted the children's bedrooms 2 or 3 times because they colored on the walls. Kids are going to color on the walls. That's one thing. But when I have to scrape shit off the wall because they're hanging their pictures on the wall with the shit, warning.
They're actually using it as an adhesive to put their pictures, like their drawings and different things.
They would get a hold of books. And they'd get so bored that they would shred these books and they would just put them all over the walls.
Like, he would literally lock them in their room if he was busy on the internet, would he not?
I'm guessing, because when I would go to clean, the kids would be at school or at Mama's. Okay. And I would go over there. I'd get there in the morning and I would fix everybody breakfast. I mean, we would do a big Biscuits. This was a tradition. If you go to clean at Aunt Alice's house, we have a big family breakfast. Biscuits, gravy, bacon, eggs, sausage, fried apples. The flippin' works, brother. And then we'd all sit around and we'd cut up. We'd enjoy each other's company. And then we'd clean up after breakfast. And then me and the girls that she hired to clean for that day would go clean. Come lunchtime, we'd come over. We'd make lunch. Do the same thing again. I loved helping Aunt Alice and cleaning for her. When I had to go to his house, oy vey. Just, oy. It's, I hate to put it out there on the internet. I don't like talking about it. But I am so sick of this man going on the damn internet and telling people lies that I taught his children to smear their crap on the walls and to make a mess of this house. They would sneak out of their rooms and sneak food. Okay, there would be busted up cake mixes, everything. It wasn't just toys and junk and garbage. It would be food that they would sneak out of the pantry and just throw everywhere because they didn't have.
Well, just take a second if you have to collect yourself, because it's interesting you brought that up, because actually I believe in the Geek Room, that's another live broadcast that's going to be happening after this, they're going to be playing a video actually where Von Helton leaves the camera rolling and goes in the back room, and the kids are asking for water. And he's screaming at them, calling them fucking dumbasses, and telling them to drink the flat Mountain Dew that's left over in the bottle that's been sitting there for days.
I'd not witnessed that, okay? He would put on a show for me. I would see him trying to interact, but then again, I could read between the lines. I'm not an idiot.
Right.
I could see it. I could see it in the children's faces, how they would react with me. Like I said, I've raised 3 successful children. Okay, I got one serving in the United States Army right now. Okay, my youngest is in college. My oldest has made me a grandma twice. I mean, I've raised children. I know how it is and what you have to do to raise a healthy member of society. Okay, this pains me that this man has the balls to go on there and accuse me of doing the crap that he is saying that I've done, telling me that I broke up his marriage. Honey, I hadn't talked to Andrea in a month, and she's messaging me on Facebook telling me she's talking to some other guy that it's getting ready to come and pick her up and take her to his house. I had nothing to do with that. I said, dude, that's not fair to James. You need to go tell James that you're not happy. Don't be that girl that's going to cheat on your husband. If you're not happy, go to him and tell him. Those were my exact words. I could probably even find it in the archives of my messages to put that out there. Okay? I'm not that girl. I mind my business. I take care of my family. I help when I can help. And to be slandered by the likes of him, I have tried my best. Ignore it. Nobody listens to him. He doesn't know. He's trying to take the heat off of him because he knows he's wrong. He knows he's wrong. He's accusing my husband of stealing. Why in the hell does my Desert Storm veteran husband, who gets VA benefits because he served our country, want to steal from his aunt? Tell me. I want to know. And I'm sorry for getting emotional, but I have had enough of his mouth bad-mouthing me and my family.
I feel confident that I can speak for everyone in this room and everyone in the chat when we say we believe every single word you've said here. Every word.
Yeah, like, but the vast majority of people that have like any working brain cells know what Von Helton is, right? He's a fanciful liar who friggin' blames everybody but himself for his own misfortunes, right? He does nothing. Look, we're going to get back to this in a second, and there's some other stuff that I want you guys to see later on in this video. But I think I'm going to lighten it up just a little bit. We're going to lighten it up just a little bit here, since we brought up VA benefits, because one of Von's claims is that he worked for Black Ops, and he was, you know, he was the real life Punisher. Now people laugh, we all laugh too, but thanks to Kenny KPZ, he reached out to someone he knows that knew someone else, and we were able, through Freedom of Information Acts, actually secure some actual footage of Von Helton in his Black Ops glory back in the 80s. So if you guys will just indulge me, we're going to check that out. Folks, this is an
Do
exclusive.
share. This is going to be funny.
Wait.
What have I done that took courage? Well, let's see. I've been hung on a meat hook and left to die. I've had people try to drown me, burn me alive, boil me in oil, shoot me, stab me. And, you know, I had people put a gun to my head in Florida. But yet you're going to get in my room and you're going to ask me what I've done. I remind you that the JHJ code does not necessarily apply to me in total. I went after the pimps and prostitutes in Killeen, Texas.
That's an exclusive, folks, of the Punisher himself.
What?
They're able to secure that. Now, don't laugh. There may be more to come.
I can't help it.
Von Helton, if you're out there.
Lord,
I've seen his DD-214. Come on, brother. No.
you guys got me crying.
No.
Do you even know the real story of why he flunked out? Basically, he just didn't make it, right? That's really
Basically.
Yeah, he flunked out.
Basically.
That's the most logical conclusion. That's what I would always assume.
I mean,
I got 2 bronze service stars on my service medal, one for Desert Storm and one for Desert Shield. I spent 18 months in the open desert of Iraq.
Drove a tank.
On a damn tank.
Well, that's what I mean. And you must find it really offensive to have someone like Von Helton basically valor.
Let me tell you something. It's taken every bit of personal strength I have to keep him going down there and just snapping his neck, dude. I mean, it's not like I couldn't do it, you know. But like I said, it's easy for him to sit in that trailer that his mommy pays for and run his mouth when I've got everything to lose right here. My home, my family, you know, it's not worth it. I would never stoop, and that would put me, you know, as low as him. So I would never. I've thought about it, but
this is the most that you know.
I'd feel good until the law got there and I went to jail, you know.
Yeah.
No, I just no, brother, no. I would willingly say stolen valor because I've seen his DD-214.
Well, I know his mommy had to go get him from Texas.
I do too.
Oh, please fill us in on that story.
Well, that's all we know. I mean, when he washed out, she had to go get him.
His sergeants called her and said, "You need to come get him."
And now that was from her mouth, so
we're afraid some of the soldiers might hurt him. That's
so his comrade in arms was gonna beat him up.
Probably.
He was gonna get the soap and the towel treatment.
Probably.
Exactly.
And when she went to get him, he wasn't even on post. She had to go hunt him down because he went and got a job off post because he wouldn't stay on post. Now, I'm sorry, if you get out of the Army, they're going to make your butt stay.
Well, that's just like I've seen the videos where he calls himself an armor crewman and all this. Well, I think he stole a lot of them stories from me because I'm that guy.
Oh, really?
Oh,
really?
Tell us a little bit about that. Maybe we'll find some similarities.
I seen him on a video talking about how he was an armor crewman and all this. And
this is a tank
that's
driver.
A bunch of crap.
You're looking at an M1A1 M1A1.
30 years ago.
Well, now you're not a vampire, though. I just want to make sure. He's
No,
only
no,
still in
I'm
the military
not.
part.
Come on now. I've
Okay.
seen the man stand outside in the sun. He doesn't burn.
I don't.
I'm just pulling your chain, brother.
I
Oh, I
don't
know.
practice witchcraft, or I'm not a video personality on social media. I'm, just a retired veteran trying to live out the rest of my life in peace. And this little jackass is. Hey.
He's pushing our buttons. That I've had enough. I've had all I can stand, and I cannot stand
I've had to
no
talk
more.
my uncle down a couple of times because the other man, he's slandering the other Frost.
He's a
He's
Vietnam veteran.
He's a Vietnam veteran that did 3 tours
Helicopter.
in Vietnam or 4 and got shot down a bunch of times. He was
3
a door
times.
gunner, and he said, "Oh, Ronnie Ray, I'll just slither down there tonight and take care of him." I said, "No, Jim, you can't do that."
Yeah, he's not worth it.
No,
he's
he's
not.
He's not.
Just
This is
retarded.
the most you're going to hear from our side. Now, I mean, I got emotional earlier because it breaks my heart, because I've done nothing but try to help the man. Okay, he's reached out to me. He's asked me. He has spent time in my home, celebrating birthdays of children, his children, my children. He came to my home, broke bread at my house, watching videos with his kids. I mean, I never did anything ill towards the man. He got butthurt because I got subpoenaed to court for CPS.
It was Andrea and CPS.
CPS called me.
Andrea had a stack of pictures.
I know she did. I seen them.
Her and the CPS went after him because she wanted her kids, and they're still fighting over them.
I love Andrea. We all have our issues. We all have our problems. I love Andrea. She needs somebody. I talk to her every now and again. We still communicate, not on a regular basis, but we do occasionally. She tells me how she's doing in school. She tells me about her new child that she has recently had. I don't have any ill towards anybody. I don't even want to see James Von Helton go through what he's going through. But he's done it himself, and he needs to take the blame and say, oh, the world does not owe me a living. I need to do what I need to do to take care of my business, not put the blame on me, my husband, or any other family member that has done nothing but try to help him. I was there when Andrea and him got married. I helped Andrea get ready, walk down the aisle. I was in the wedding. I've got pictures. I just seen them somewhere. I think they were on, I don't even know where they are, but I just seen them recently. So I don't know what would cause him to badmouth me and my family when I have never said anything ill against him.
Well, we've seen him turn on people. I mean, there's been people that's given him money on the internet to clothe his children, and
that's his own fault because his mom made sure his children did not go without.
Oh,
and
of course.
He would get pissed off at her and then hold the kids hostage and say, well, you're not seeing the kids. Screw you. I mean, I've had to I'd be over there cleaning and he'd come in and start screaming and I'd look at him and say, James, back the bus up. That's your mother you're talking to.
Mm-hmm. Larry, can you hear us? Or are you able to respond? Big Larry Frost.
I don't know. I don't see him on there, but that doesn't mean anything.
I'll add him to the stream again. I think he's having some problems there.
He might be. I don't know.
Because I actually wanted to back up just for a second. We got a lot. I see the questions in the chat as well, and I'm trying to kind of squeeze them in as well. But I wanted to back up and ask Larry something, because last time he was on, he was talking about an incident where Ma's medication went missing.
Oh, yeah.
They blamed Vaughn, and then it magically reappeared. And that's kind of where I was going when I started talking about Andrea's situation, because she had talked about him messing with the medication. And I'm just putting it out there. And I mean, don't comment on something you don't feel comfortable commenting on, because some of it is speculation. But just from what he's even divulged himself by pushing his poor, let's be honest, Alice's sliding into a certain type
She
of
is.
dementia or
She is,
something.
but she's also 94 years old.
Oh, exactly, right? But he's pushing her on camera, trying to get her to testify while she's asking if her parents are still alive. So obviously her cognitive abilities are, somewhat of a decline.
They've been Alice's. They've been going downhill for a while, but we've been trying to keep it at bay as best that we could because we knew that Vaughn would try to take advantage of that.
Well, that's where I'm going, because would it not be to his benefit for her to be confused?
Probably.
I mean, I'm not asking you to speak on anything you don't know about, but
and the question about Andrea's medicine, I do remember him saying that she doesn't need to be on that medication, and she's like, yeah, he doesn't like it when I take it. And I said, but do you feel better when you take it? And she said, yeah, I do. And I said, whether he says anything or not, take your medicine. And she's like, well, he won't take me to get it. And I said, I got a car, I can take you to get your medicine if you
No,
need.
he's got me in backstage right now.
Oh, there we go.
There you are, Larry.
I'm now in the show.
Larry, we were
let's
just
go.
talking about the missing
I'm back.
medication incident. If you could give us he's a little delayed still, but that's okay. Larry, we love you. The missing medication incident. I'm not sure. I think you could give us a little delayed, but that's okay. Larry, we love you. Turn on people. I mean, there's the missing medication.
That's his own fault because his mom made sure his children did.
I don't know where the missing med. Want to know?
Well, the story last time was that there was some of Ma's medication went missing. They blamed Von Helton, and then it magically showed up again.
St. James took it. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not.
Yeah, we can hear you. There's just a bit of a delay.
You okay? Yeah.
Well, the story last time was that there was some of Ma's medication went missing.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. There's just a bit of a delay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm here. I'm trying to keep it in.
Okay, well, I know you're going to get this message in a second because there's a delay. I'm just going to mute you for a sec just because there's echo, and I'm going to play a little more of this video. Okay, well, I know you're going to get this message in a second because there's a delay.
Served in the Cold War. I fought against communism, supposedly. Then I come back here after the Cold War, and what do I find? Oh, communism right here in my community.
What does he mean when I come back here from fighting the Cold War? What do you think? What the hell is he talking about?
I don't. That's a good question because I don't know.
In his video a little while ago, wasn't he quoting Goebbels or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. I've only known him to live right there on Crane Creek. I know he did live in Hamilton for a little while.
And he delivered pizza in a ninja suit, apparently.
I know he laid carpet in Hamilton, and that supposedly messed up his knees and his legs.
Right. Yeah. So hard work. Yeah.
How swollen are his legs? How swollen is he?
You reckon that was before or after Guadalcanal?
His legs are swollen and big, and when he takes his shoes off, his feet look like Cabbage Patch feet.
You've seen his naked feet.
I have.
God bless you, child. God bless you. I can only imagine the horrors.
Yeah. It's his feet. I would describe them as looking like Cabbage Patch feet, and then Ron said he's seen his feet.
Okay, so the new term is trailer troll, right? That's the new term.
He's built like a trailer troll. He's built like a hobbit.
Yeah, that would be, yeah. His feet are a hot mess. And when just before Andrea left, he had been to the doctor and is supposed to wear compression socks. And I've had to help him get them damn things on his nasty feet. Okay.
You are an angel sent from heaven.
Now, I know we've talked about a lot of dark things here, but if it's not too much, could you please describe the state of his toenails? One could imagine. I've seen his fingernails, but we've never seen his
raptor claws.
Right, kind of yellow, cracky.
Yes.
Possibly could cause damage in a fight.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
He's told me that his feet were crushed from some kind of he was lifting something at work, and then whether or not this was many years ago. Okay, many years ago. I don't have all the facts other than he said he was at work. He was helping somebody lift something, and it came back and landed on his feet. Maybe, I don't know, but I do know his feet and legs are in bad shape, and I can probably tell you why. Because the man will eat jar peanut butter off of a spoon, and he eats those frozen dinners with all that salt, and he sits in that computer chair with his feet not elevated.
Yeah, it's gout. Basically, it's gout, and you see it in his nose too. His nose is growing, and it's not from just the lies. It's not Pinocchio syndrome, folks. I'm not suggesting that, but it's. I mean, it's in relation to his feet. It's gout. It's just, yeah, it's not active.
I know. I know that he's supposed to wear compression socks, and I took care of my grandparents, and I would have to put compression socks on my grandfather every single night. Okay. And I kept telling him, James, Andrea needs to put these on you every night. Oh, no. You're only supposed to wear them for an hour time. And I said, James, don't tell me something I know about. You need to wear them. And I said, I looked at Andrea. I said, Andrea, what did the doctor say? And she said, he's supposed to wear them every day. I said, thank you. Now let's get them on your daggone feet, brother.
All I know is, Vaughn, you better quit running your mouth, because the truth will set us free.
He always finds a way to get back home. Well, I've always said that he suffers from a medical affliction. He's too light for heavy work and too heavy for light work, apparently. So just hasn't found that. It's just 56 years old, and he hasn't found the Goldilocks zone for working, apparently.
He wants a sugar mama that'll come and take care of him and do whatever the heck she wants. He'll tell you. He will tell you.
Well, it's always been kind of obvious his retirement plan is to have a young wife that can stagger out kids, so he continues to get support and has a trailer, right?
I guess.
Can you speak on any plans to evict Mr. Helton?
That would be a Larry question. I know Alice. Bless her little heart. I love her dearly, and I miss that woman so bad. She has been wanting to for years now, and then when it comes down to doing it, she backpedals because she wants them babies back. Now,
wow, what a...
Oops, sorry. Yeah, well, I mean, she doesn't seem to fully comprehend what's going on, obviously, because he's spoon-feeding her a bunch of garbage, and she has no idea, and she's...
And let me tell you, because the reason she's starting to believe him is because me and other family members refuse to step foot on that property while he's there, and she is a captive audience from him and him alone. Now,
so I'm kind of worried if she's getting her medication properly, because it's more to a benefit to him if she's confused. Right?
So look closely at the video where he had his mother and was coaching her what to say. And he tells on himself where he says, oh, yeah, I moved daddy's money. Well, daddy's been dead for 15 years. He moved his mommy's money.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Daddy retired from Peas. Daddy didn't have any money. I got the whole story. What money Daddy had was Alice's.
Right. And that's where he's kind of using his weird sense of divine fairness. He assumes that because he's a, quote, blood heir, as opposed to his adopted sister or whatever, that he should get it by right of common law. That money is his. So Ma's money is his money. That's the way he said he looks at it.
And he's accusing us of taking her money. I don't want her money. I don't want anybody's money but my own.
Larry gets just enough to pay the bills. He ain't got no money.
I know. He's done got it all.
Well, as I understand it, it just kind of looks like his back's against the wall because time's ticking out. I mean, I don't want to say it, but let's be honest. Ma's getting old. There's going to come a reckoning. And as far as I understand it, it's the kids who actually have a stake in that property, not Vaughn.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't have kids and, you know, like, he's kind of, I think he's, scratching for traction right now. I think he's this whole facade of trying to get the power of attorney because he wants to change the will. He wants to make himself the power of the land, the landlord, right? Lord of the land. That's what he's trying to do, right? Because he knows his time is short, and I think it benefits him that she's not medicated.
Probably, fair statement. I mean, I don't have anything to argue against that because the truth is in the pudding, so to speak. I mean, you could read between the lines for everything that you have seen and that you have heard, and that's just out of his own mouth.
Well, I mean, the guy's going down spending $600 a pop at the town market buying lottery tickets and stuff. I mean, and he doesn't have income. So, I mean.
Yeah. And the only reason we know that is because you live in a small town. Everybody talks.
Well, I think it's a pretty obvious scenario. Ma gives him the card to run down and pick up something at the town market, and he's dropping extra money on lottery tickets and stuff. I don't know that. I'm just saying that's
right.
Yeah.
I haven't stepped foot in that house for 3 years, but yes, Mom would give him money and say, here, go down and get this. She would give him more than what was needed, and I know she would never see the change because I'd be standing there when he gets back, and she'd go, where's my change? Well, I kept the change so I could put gas in the car, or that's in my wallet over at the house, or whatever.
Right. I get you. All right, let's watch a little bit more of this.
Okay.
If nothing else, it's entertaining. I mean, I love the clip-on tie.
Right.
God. What did I serve for? What did I serve for? Yeah. Did I serve to save America from communism? Apparently not, because here it is. G-Man, I watched a video. I was forced to watch a video by Child Protective Services. And I am and there was like 5 other parents that were with me watching. All right. We were sat down and forced to watch this video, this movie, whatever you wish to call it. And I am not even kidding you. It was straight out of Stalin's playbook. The government is always right. The parent is stupid. The parent does not know how to raise their children. The parent is, it needs to be taken to a re-education camp. And it even had the 1950s style cartoon look to it too, to go with I mean, it was, I couldn't believe it. I mean, everybody in that room jaw hit the floor when we watched this video. We couldn't believe it. It was literal communist propaganda. And I'm like, what did I serve in the Cold War for? Why did I do that? That was a waste of my time, apparently.
Yo, on the real, if this was on my main channel, people would know why I'm making these facial expressions. Because if that was me, no.
Well, what would you do, G-Man? What would you actually do if that was you? But anyways, that's besides the point. So this is actually, he goes on a bit, like, again, I don't know the legalities of this. I think it's pretty dumb of Von Helton to start talking like this as he's trying to fight for his children, because he does continue to say basically that everything he's doing to get his kids back is bullshit. He's not going to follow any of it. So I don't know who needs to see this video, but if they do, I got it. I'm just throwing that out there.
I don't know, because no, it's this one about what he's gonna do. I don't know. I don't know.
I know it's almost breathtaking. I'm going to go freshen my drink for a second, so I'm just going to let this play.
Okay.
And I'm sure he's going to say just a bunch of insane stuff, but we'll let it roll for a sec.
I wish that.
No. Like I said, I just think that certain people handle things differently, and where I'm from, we handle things a little bit differently. I'm sorry, it just wouldn't put up with that.
Not only do I wish that I could have recorded that video when it was playing, but I wish I could have recorded the parents' reaction to the video. Because here in the South, parents tend to be ultra conservative. They tend to be Republican. They tend to be, capitalist. They tend to be, belief in God, etc., etc. You should have seen their jaws hit the floor when this video says, "Hey, man, parents are stupid. Parents don't know how to raise their kids. Only mommy and daddy government knows how to raise the kids." And I mean, their jaws hit the floor, and I'm like, I told you so.
This is why I'm against bigger government, and government needs to get smaller. But unfortunately, now I know you're not a Christian, and I know you don't believe what we believe about the last days, but I believe the government's going to keep getting bigger and bigger, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And they're going to see this kind of government that they want. They're going to see it early.
The Constitution says that the government, the federal government, should be about the size of a walnut. All right, that's it. That's what, because everybody say, well, how is the government going to be able to fund itself? Well, if it's only the size of a walnut, it'll be funded quite easily. Tariffs alone would be able to fund a government the size of a walnut. Okay, you don't need. Why are we taxing the people? We're taxing the people because government has become this huge megalithic thing that is out of control. CPS is out of control. The video on YouTube, don't mess with Texas CPS. Texas CPS literally comes in the hospital. This woman had literally just given birth to a child. Texas CPS walks into the hospital. Now, her lawyer happened to be there. Thank to God, he happened to be there. But her lawyer just happened to be there, I guess because it was kind of a traumatic birthing or something. But he happened to be there. And even her lawyer's like, you can't just come in here and steal her child. And CPS told him the same thing they told me. We're taking the kid anyway. Okay, that's what they told me. That's what they told this woman, this lawyer in the video. The video is called "Don't Mess with Texas CPS." You can get it on here on YouTube, or you can go to it on Daily Motion, Live Leak, and some of the other places. Don't mess with Texas.
I'm gonna enjoy making videos about CPS moving forward. I'm gonna enjoy this.
But
anyway.
So just to bring everyone up to speed, apparently the network of Fail has put out some Vaughn enabling videos where basically they're showing a Mark Groening video from like 2011 where Mark says that he called CPS on Vaughn. And apparently this is validation for Vaughn losing his kids 11 times. So that's I see Shani, I see Rev, I see G-Man all working together. And we know that Shani, by the way, did you guys see? I shut down Shani's stream the other night. I didn't even get to that was 5 minutes. I didn't get to say anything, but she was mad. But that's a tale for another day. But I'm going to skip ahead a little bit now. Adam E, if you don't mind throwing that timestamp out again, I'll let him play for a second here. But I want to get up to where they're talking about like the abused kids should go back to the abuser and all this bullshit. It's like 2 minutes and 17 seconds or something. But did you want to say anything, Marcia? I keep calling you Marcia. Is it Marcy? Sorry.
It's Marcia.
Okay. I'm not sure what you go by.
Marcy is my mother-in-law, but Marcia is what I go by.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Got Larry back. Just going to mute you, Larry, so it doesn't echo. Unless there's anything you want to add quick.
I'm good.
All right. We're going to roll on through here.
Yeah, they said, we're taking the kid anyway. We're taking it anyway. Okay, well, what is that? That is a fundamental violation of my rights, the children's rights, and everybody else's rights. That's a flagrant violation of the law. That's the legal term for it. Flagrant violation of the law. Okay, they no longer respect the law at that point, right?
All right. So Vaughn, do me a favor. I'm gonna need you to mute.
Yeah.
I got another guy that's going to come here. I don't know who this is because he's got a mask on. I do want to warn whoever this person is because I don't recognize you, okay, that when you come in this room, this is not going to be the Attack Vaughn show, okay? This is not the Geek Room, and this is not some of them other channels that allow that, okay? All right, you got something to say?
So I'm going to skip ahead here. I can see it. I'm half blind here. I'm going to go to 215. So I think in there they start talking about this nonsense.
And just be abolished. And like you said, the police. See, what was we doing before CPS come along? The police were handling it, and they did fine. It was no problem.
The reason, and by the way, the reason why I keep mentioning the trolls here on YouTube, but don't interrupt me, Vaughn. Let me talk for a moment, okay?
Yeah.
The reason why I keep mentioning the trolls on YouTube because I see these hangouts going on and people talking about why so and so doesn't deserve their kids and so don't deserve their kids, and you can see them using it as a weapon to control people. That is what's actually going on. You know what I mean? It is sick. It is disgusting. And until it happens to one of them, they're going to keep doing it and thinking it's funny to do it. You understand what I'm saying? So I believe that CPS needs to be reformed, or we need to march or do something and say, you know what, the government needs to get rid of CPS. I'm not saying that we don't do nothing to protect kids who are being neglected. Let's make some new rules or create a new program or something like that. But the CPS is just too easy to abuse. You can just be an anonymous caller, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then you could pretend that something happened in somebody's house that never happened, and then you could just completely, totally affect their life and whatnot, and they think it's funny.
So that's totally untrue. As far as I know, no governmental agency works like that, where you can simply make an anonymous call making accusations and they'll steal your children until you prove. Like, they have to witness. I mean, in your I mean, I know you don't work for CPS or anything, but I mean, in your experience that you went through where they subpoenaed you, I mean, that's quite a process. Like, they have to build a case. They have to get testimony of people.
That is a process. And we were getting ready to go through the motions. They gave us a list of what we had to have before they would place his children in my care. Like, we had to make sure that the smoke detectors had fresh batteries and fire hydrants, and CPS had to talk to my children that still lived at home with me to make sure that they were on board and okay with this. Because, like I said, I have 3 older children. You know, there's going to be 3 babies in my house. We were going to take them temporarily, but because, you know, they should be with family members, people that they know, you know. I mean,
it's not like I wanted to raise 3 kids.
Yeah, my youngest is 18 and in college. So taking on his young children, I don't want to say would have been a chore, because it wouldn't have been a chore, because children are a blessing and I love children. It just, somebody else's child that should be responsible enough to have their own child, I shouldn't have to step up, but I will if I have to. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it is a process. And I have had CPS called on when we had to stay with a friend of ours, because we had to go back to Ohio to take care of a family member, and we were staying with a friend of ours for like 5 days. And the neighbor called CPS. They said, there's too many people in that little bitty house. CPS come to the door and said, this is the accusation we got. We need to come in here and look. And I'm going, okay, come on in. You want to talk to the kids? You know, and they came in and they said, what's the situation? I broke down the situation. They said, oh, well, you're fine. Okay, so you're just visiting and they're just griping and complaining and being obnoxious. And I said, whatever you say. And that was the end of the story. Enough said. Never heard from them again.
Well, in order for them to take them, they obviously seen the signs of gross neglect.
They've had to have seen the signs of gross neglect for them to be yanked from the home. And from what I understand, they have to have more than one phone call, at least here. Now, when my experience with CPS, which that was the only one ever, you know, because some neighbor got mad because the kids were being loud and obnoxious. They wanted to show their tail.
And it happens. That stuff happens a lot. But I mean, they know that. Like, these are trained professionals. They go, if you don't see, I mean, it's got to be pretty bad. And then we're talking 11 times with this guy.
Oh, for sure.
It hasn't been 11 times?
Yeah.
Okay, then you know about more times than I do. But I just know, you know, I knew that they came in at Christmas time, and I heard about that after the fact. He's accusing me of calling CPS around Christmas time, and I'm going, I was in Ohio with my family, celebrating the holidays. I don't give a kitty what in the crap you're doing. You know, I'm not calling nobody. I'm enjoying my family.
Right.
I don't want to deal with you and you're crazy until I absolutely have to. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Von Helton has made me have to, because apparently every other video, even this video, our names have been brought up.
Did he bring our name up?
Yeah, the FROSTS call. Yeah, we're the FROSTS. Granted, there's several of us, but we all know who he's talking about. Right. Me and you are his favorite ones.
Right. For sure. All right, well, let's listen a little bit more of this Jabberwocky here.
And then what they're doing about this, they're not saying I hope Vaughn gets help. They're not saying I hope Vaughn gets rehabilitated. They're laughing. They think it's funny. Right. It's comedy to them. Do you like you understand this?
Have you looked up the term LULZ
Hold on a minute.
on something other than Google?
Hold on
Take
a minute.
LULZ and put it in DuckDuckGo or put it in Lyco search or a Bing search. Guess what you find, G-Man? You're gonna love this.
What is it?
It has demonic connotations to it. The definition of LULZ is actually demonic. Look it up. Now you can't do it on Google because Google blocks it. You got to go to Lycos or Bing or DuckDuckGo or some other search engine. But put it in another search engine other than Google, and it has demonic affiliations. I don't remember the exact definition, but it was like an anagram, right? It's like the letters represented something about demonic activity of some kind. I don't remember the exact wording, unfortunately. But yeah, but you can't put it in Google. You have to put it in another search engine. That's the trick to it. But you won't find it on Google.
All right.
But,
So basically, with the whole thing with CPS, just to wrap this up, CPS is just too easy to manipulate, and it's
extremely easy to manipulate,
and it's too easy to lie to these people and cause these people to take away your children. So I want to ask you something about this. What do you think the difference? What do you think the difference? I want to go back to the first topic we was talking about.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's your personal opinion on modern day atheism as opposed to classical atheism?
All right,
and stop reading the live chat.
Yeah, this G-Man's a one-trick pony. He just wants to. You see, they blame it. It's all atheists who are actually Jesuits who are trying to convert people to Catholicism. That is the conspiracy theory that Von Helton and G-Man, except for the Christians that are trying to take his kids, but they're actually, I don't know. They've come up with some crazy conspiracy theory why this is all happening. I really think it's all happening just because Von Helton's a shitty person. And just to be clear, and I make this abundant, I do laugh at Von Helton a lot. But I don't hate Von Helton. Like, I don't wish bad things on Von Helton. I just think he's a really shitty person. I mean, I think that's why, 3/4 of the troubles that he faces, is what he faces. I'm not sure if we still got Marsha there. Okay. What do you got to say about that? What do you think?
Now, you kind of cut out. My mother-in-law was beeping in. So the reason.
Yeah, go ahead.
The reason that I think he's losing his kids is because he's not, like I said before, he's not taking care of business. Okay. I at the beginning of this chat, I said that he thought that he's under the impression that the school is in charge of taking his children to the doctor or to the dentist so that he doesn't have to. Okay. Now I know there's a nurse on call and the nurse does do health checks, and the nurse can decide that, yes, your child has an ear infection, okay? Because they've done that with my daughter. They've called me and said, I believe she's got an ear infection, and I can give her an antibiotic if you cannot get her to the doctor. And I said, I can get her to the doctor. That's fine. If you want to go ahead and prescribe the medicine and I will talk to her doctor on whether or not that's the route we're going to go, then that's what we'll do. But his impression is that they're in charge. That's their responsibility. And he needs to be the man that his mother raised him to be and take care of his responsibilities. He's man enough to lay down with a woman and have children. He needs to be man enough to take care of those children and not put it on everybody else and blame everybody else for his misgivings. So...
But you know what they say, he can't teach an old dog new tricks. I don't think Von's going to change. That's why it blows me away that he keeps getting chances with his kids. Like it absolutely blows me away.
I was mad. Okay, the judge. I even cut up with the judge because I was trying to, I'm trying to make light of a bad situation because it is a bad situation. Anytime the CPS gets involved and takes the children away from the family, that is a bad situation. I don't. So I just, I talked to the judge and I said, look, I want to say my piece. Can I say my piece? He said, well, be here Monday. And I said, I made a joke. I said, I'll be here with bells on. By God, I got me a bell and hung it around my neck. And I was there. I even said, here, I'm here with bells on. What do you want to know? I will tell you. And Vaughn looked at me and his eyes were about to bulge out of his head. But I didn't get to say my piece. And I'm like, If you're going to subpoena somebody, let them come in there and say their piece.
Right. No, I agree, and I don't get it. It doesn't seem to be the fault of the CPS. It seems to be more some judge. I don't know what. And I understand. And again, I don't hate Von Helton. I think he's a shitty person. And I've said many times, I never wish Von Helton to have his kids tore from him.
No.
Like, it's got to be a very bad situation. What I would like in an ideal situation is that he cleaned up his act, learned his lesson, and actually was a good fucking dad, or even a passable dad. I mean, nobody's even like asking him to be a great dad, but he just refuses, and it blows me away. It actually blows me away that he begged you to raise the children.
He asked me one time, he said, please take my kids that way, and I was like, oh, James, I was appalled, okay? I literally was appalled. How can somebody make a child and ask someone else to take them? I looked at him and I said, no. This is your responsibility. You need to man up, and you need to get your head right. Okay. If you need somebody to help you, I've told you, I will help you. I will talk to Alice. I will come in once a week and I will help you. I will train you on what I did and how, raising 3 kids, especially 2 of them being twins, that's a little nerve-wracking for anybody, especially by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, I'll talk to your mom. She's not going to let you do that. Well, James, okay, let's plead to her on her sympathy card. She was paying me $6 an hour to go in there and do this, take care. Now, $6 an hour to scrape poop off of a wall, not enough, but I did it because...
Yeah, that's a raw deal for sure.
The babies did not deserve that. Okay? At that point, it wasn't about the money. My husband has said, you're not going back down there. You're not getting paid enough to clean that filth. You're not going back down there. And I looked at him and I said, Ronnie, it's not about the money. It's about the babies. The babies deserve a clean, healthy environment. And if I can give that to them for the short amount of time that they had it, by God, I was doing it.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good point, because with Vaughn, the argument is always what has been done to him. And it's the same with all his enablers. This was done to Vaughn unjustly. Poor Vaughn helped. But the kids are, and that sounds like a cliche, but these people act like the kids are property and have no rights. Like, it just blows me away.
I'm what you would call an empty nester, okay, right now. I'm new to being an empty nester because my daughter just turned 18 in July. She started college this year, and it sucks. I miss my babies being in my home. I miss being able to go. Me and my oldest boy, before he went to the Army, I would, I'd go running in his room and I'd jump down on the bed. I said, what are you doing, B? What are you doing? And we'd sit and we'd watch movies together. I'd do it with my middle son, Travis. What are you doing, Bubby? That was my privilege. Those were my blessings.
Right.
And for somebody to do that to the babies and then accuse me of being vindictive breaks my heart.
Right.
And I've been quiet enough. James Paul Von Helton, stop bad-mouthing me. I've never done anything to you, against you. Leave me and my family the crap alone. I don't want nothing your mother has. I don't want nothing from you. Stop bad-mouthing me. Sorry to get emotional.
Well, no.
And Vaughn, we know you're watching. If you want to come in here, grow a pair of nuts. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, the link has been sent, folks, completely. Now, what we're going to do here, I'm going to give you a chance if there's anything else. Actually, 3 things. If I missed something, because I didn't actually hear them talk about the abusers, go back. I might have skipped it, or it's coming up. Adamy, I see you're out there. You give me a timestamp before. If I missed something or there's something worth watching, you guys can throw me a timestamp or something out there. We'll check it out. If you guys, any of the Frosts, want to anything we haven't covered, you guys want to. I mean, there's some bombshell shit. I mean, I never heard. I knew the kids were peeing and pooping down the vents and stuff, but the furnace guy, it was so bad. And they're circulating that air that there's been some bombshell stuff I never actually heard before. So I want to thank you guys. But if there's anything else you guys want to cover, or if Kenny or Mindbender has any questions, Larry wants to jump in. We'll do that now. And also, if anybody out there, I've seen a lot of questions go through, and I couldn't get to every one of them because I want to keep it somewhat in context. Now, one I would like to know personally, and I've seen was asked out there: can anybody here actually confirm or deny that Von Helton wears adult diapers? Because we're pretty sure we saw a pile of them behind him.
I have no clue.
Now we get to the real shit now.
We're getting down to.
A lot of people want to know how tall Von Helton is for some reason.
Going back to the wedding, yes,
sort of
I'm
dwarf.
5'2", and he's about 5'4", 5'5", because I'm 5'2".
Thank you very
He's
much.
not very tall.
Thank you. Yet again confirmed, folks. Yet again confirmed, because he says he has a medical condition, yet another one that's baffled doctors, where he's actually growing.
Yeah, he's 6 foot tall. He's a fucking monster. He's a power lifter.
Yeah, that's what he says.
He's growing around the waist. Okay, the last time his mom had to go buy him some clothes, and I believe the last pair of pants and actually underwear was 36.
And I guess the question I've always had
Probably
is,
a 200-pound Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
now he claims to be a former welterweight boxer.
What?
He's referred to himself as a welterweight. He's actually referred to himself as a welterweight champion. I don't know if that's like the amateur circuit, but
I don't. Can you guys see me? My camera for some reason went black. I don't.
Yeah, it's just blank now.
That's
okay,
we can hear you though.
Okay, I've never. Now he's heard me talk about my grandfather, who's deceased, teach me how to box, and he trained boxers. Now, I've never heard about James boxing.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you this. I could probably hit a hell of a lot harder than he can if I had to throw a
Well,
punch.
it's not just boxing. The man claims to be a champion.
No,
and I don't know where you get these trophies.
Von Helton is a champion of nothing. He's never done anything. He's never been anywhere. He's lived in his mommy's house his whole life.
Now, I know he worked at his mom's nursing homes when his mom owned his mother used to own 3 nursing homes. Okay. I know that he worked there with her for a little while, whether or not he was actually certified.
But they didn't have like a boxing league there in the nursing homes. It was like boxing
I've
old
never
people
heard
for like
that.
the
And
senior championship or
Alice
something.
likes to tell stories, and that is not one that I heard.
It's
Not
all right.
even from the family at reunions. I have never heard that.
Maybe he was just making the cardboard boxes really fast somewhere.
He is not a superhero.
No.
But
Color
that
me
was going to be
shocked.
my next question, actually. But thank you.
Okay.
I think it's fair to say Mr. Frost over here is the actual Punisher. All the stories we hear about bravery on the battlefield is probably stories Mr. Frost here has shared with the family.
Probably.
Right. That's why I'm retired. I came home from combat with acute PTSD. So now I live way out in the country because I can't be around regular people because I'm triggered. So for him to be triggering me is a bad idea. And like I said, it's took everything I got, guys, to keep from going down there. You know, I just got everything to lose.
Well, thank you for your service. And
yeah, thank you, sir.
And we're just tired of him spreading all the lies, and we want to be there to let everybody know, hey, this guy, what we already know, the guy's a nut.
And it's your right to do that. It's his right to make up shit and talk shit. Your right to rebut it and have your piece too. So
that's right.
It's all good.
We talked to the lawyer, and they said, well, he's exercising his First Amendment right, and unless he emails you and starts attacking you personally, you can't really do anything. I said, yeah, I can. I can do the same thing he's doing.
At the beginning of the show, I said the Von Helton fact checkers, person that was on the inside for 10 years.
Yeah, and like I said, like nobody with really working brain cells believes half of the garbage that dumps out of the guy's mouth. So I mean,
Not even any boxing gloves like laying around the house or the
Not
trailer.
that I can remember.
Okay,
No.
just double check because the man's challenged me to fight several times, claiming to be a welterweight champion. And I tried to dig around and find something like, hey man, maybe I need to do my homework before I go out there. Maybe he's got a jab or something.
There are pictures of him in a gi from doing karate.
I've seen that.
So has the rest of the internet.
That's karate.
Well, he was
Kyle.
like 12, you know.
That shit is literally world famous.
He did take a little bit of karate. Now, okay, I'm 5'2". I weigh 150 pounds. And at the time when I was cleaning and he was screaming in my face and had me backed against the computer desk, and when I shoved him, I could guarantee you I'd do more damage to him than he would have ever done to me.
If I could ask a quick question, maybe you covered this earlier before I came into the stream. Why was he in your face? What?
Oh, well, it depends on he gets fired. He gets excited. When he gets excited, he screams and yells. Okay, I don't.
Yeah, we've seen.
I don't believe he. It's been so long ago. I do remember the incident, but what he was screaming about, I don't know. I don't care. Because, at that point, when somebody's screaming at you and they're just, getting closer and closer, I think he was just riled up and pissed off at something. And and I'm like, now, James?
Better be lucky I wasn't
James?
Well, I mean, it sounds like you can hold your own. I mean, is there any way you'd be interested in some sort of kind of, intergender championship charity boxing match with the guy? I mean, I got some pull. I could set it up out your way.
If you could get him to show up, I'd say she'd wipe him out.
We'll rent the property right across the street. We'll fucking do it.
We'll do it in the back. We'll do it in the back of the church.
Without giving too many intimate details, is it fair to say that there's a few homes in the area with Mr. Von Helton and his mother? It's more than just a couple. It's a few trailers there. Am I correct?
It's his mom's trailer and his trailer.
And
she owns property down the street that's got a trailer on it, but it's removed from the immediate property where he resides.
Is it well known that he's just a fuck up?
Yeah.
And people.
Yeah, he's had issues with a lot of the locals.
The
and they ever
across the
say
street.
if they can get a crosshair on him, he's through.
The neighbor across the street. Vaughn went across the street and showed his ass at a neighbor's. They were having a family get together, a party, and he went over there and showed his ass. And the neighbor said, he's an upstanding member of the community. He works at the school and everything, but I'm not going to say anything else other than that on him. He has said, if it wasn't for Alice, he'd have done something.
Another common story that I've heard over the years is that the reason the children were always given back was not because of Vaughn, but because of Alice.
Is that Alice? Alice is
that true?
Now, when he made the first video slandering me, I went to the lady who subpoenaed me and said, what can I do about this? And she said, Miss Frost, you can go get a lawyer, but do not do it in Clay County. And that was all she would say. Now, you can take that for however you want to take it. I read between the lines there, and I just went with it. So,
the only reason he kept them kids as long as he did was his mom's money and her lawyer.
That, and she's the buffer because she had, when the babies came home from the hospital, she had 3 cribs put in her living room.
I remember that.
She hired me and a couple other people to come in and help her and Andrea take care of the babies for a couple of weeks.
It's been some years ago, but there was a story that Andrea told where she said her 2 twins were in the hospital for months and they never went and visited the children. And that was the reason CPS got involved with the twins.
The kids were in the hospital. The kids were preemies. They had some help. They had to be given vitamin D. Now, like I said, I love Andrea. And she didn't know any better because I don't you do what you're taught. Okay, I firmly believe that. Okay, you only go with what you know. She tried. She tried to be the loving, caring mother, but I don't know if it was postpartum depression, but she didn't want to interact with the children unless she was forced. And that could have just been the postpartum depression because she had like Ayla, and then shortly thereafter she became pregnant with the twins, and then the twins did have to stay at the hospital because they were young. And no, I don't remember them going to visit them. I don't.
Also, when Andrea first came on the property, there were allegations that Mr. Helton, because of his brave service in the military, was exposed to depleted uranium, so he couldn't have children.
Okay, hold. Don't say no more.
So that would be me again. I drove a tank that shot.
Jesus Christ.
Shaka.
Shot depleted uranium shells during combat in Desert Storm. He probably heard me tell the story.
You are the real one. You are the real Punisher. You are the real Punisher.
Folks, we have an exclusive here tonight, folks. This is it's amazing because you are the guy he has stolen every fucking.
He stole all the man's life. He stole his whole life story.
Well, what's interesting about Von Helton is he's an amalgamation of all the things he has found macho over the years. Right? He's fucking Indian. He's a fucking black ops. He's a vampire. He's a friggin', and he's literally. And that's where he's getting all his info.
Studied medicine. He's a black magic witchcraft doctor.
Real estate lawyer, my friend.
Yeah, but he's literally just eavesdropping on your actual stories and twisting them into his comic book version of reality.
Were you ever a jury foreman? By any chance?
For 2 years, head jury foreman, my friend.
I was the foreman of a jury, and
on a murder trial,
because I had told the judge, "Look, Your Honor, I got PTSD. I don't think I should be here. This is a stressful situation." He said, "Sit right there." He put me on the bench, made me foreman of the jury. So then after 5 days of deliberating, I had a heart attack in the damn courtroom. They took me out on a gurney because of the stress. That's what PTSD is. It's a stress-related illness, post-traumatic stress disorder. Duh. Oh, yeah. So anytime I'm put in those kind of situations, it only has two outcomes,
Yeah,
fight or flight.
Talk about a scary situation. A police officer calls me and tells me my husband's laid in the hospital because they think he had a heart attack while he was sitting in a courtroom.
Wow.
Probably one of the only still able to do jury duty in Clay County.
For a murder trial. So he's using that. He's telling everybody he was a jerk. Okay.
And since then they've picked me 3 times for jury duty. Did we lose you?
The truth.
No, we're
just hanging on every word, huh?
I wouldn't dare interrupt you, sir. Wouldn't dare.
So I don't know how much of my life he's grafted into.
Well, that's what we want to find out.
We're getting to the bottom of this right here.
Right.
So we got the depleted uranium. I'm really sorry about that too. That was
just I got to say it's the burden I bear as a defender of freedom. And any of you all have put in the same situation, I would hope that you would do it too.
Hallelujah. I'm ready. I'm fired up now. I'm gonna go get my gun back.
That's just like this.
Have you now, or have you ever been a DJ in Detroit? And if yes, did you introduce the very first rap artist onto the radio?
No, but
do I sound that old?
Where the hell did he come up with that little nugget?
That's a whopper there, huh?
Yeah.
What? I mean,
I've never been a DJ.
Wait a minute. Jeff was DJing in Ohio.
Right.
Jeff was doing that, so he probably took Jeff doing
so
DJ
that's
work.
My uncle's son, which would be his cousin also. I hate to admit it, but I am related to Vaughn. He'll never admit that, but his mother is my great aunt. So it's whatever he wants to say about it, blood, whether he wants to admit it or not. I'm real close to him. His mom was my grandpa's sister.
Mr. Frost, were you ever in Killeen, Texas, and did you bust up a pimp's organization? And did you fail to save a German girl who escaped in a pickup truck?
No, I don't think he stole that from me. That must have been somebody else.
Well, I actually have
That
the
must
explanation
mean
to
he's
the
got an
German
interesting
girl.
life. I'd like to hear his story, man.
Where was he stationed? In Texas?
Somewhere in Texas.
He was stationed in Texas. Now, whether I never heard that story before, neither.
Well, according to people that knew Von Helton from Hamilton, Ohio, they told me that there was a German exchange student, and Von Helton had a crush on her. See, Von Helton's story is that he saved 6 prostitutes or something, but the German girl got away in a pickup truck. And what's interesting is these people told me that there was a German exchange student in high school that Von Helton had a crush on, but she ended up going out with some other guy that had a pickup truck, and Von fucking hated it.
I cannot attest to that. That's one we've missed out on.
This may be a little before your time too, but I'll ask anyway. Was Vaughn ever beaten up by a girl in the parking lot of a bowling alley in Ohio?
Yes, I was going to ask that next. Drug out.
I've not heard that, but I want to hear about that.
Well, long story short, I was told by the same people that some heavier girl that either Vaughn had dabbled with and was talking shit or was just talking shit found him in a bowling alley where they all hung out, drug him out to the gravel parking lot, and beat the living hell out of him in front of everybody. So that's what I heard.
Don't know.
Sounds like I owe somebody a beer.
I've not heard that one, but it would not surprise me. That's all I'll say.
Did you qualify as a marksman with a grease gun while in the military?
With a grease gun? No.
Well, he did, my friend.
Well,
he qualified with the grease gun.
You know, that's funny. I've never known a commando to carry a grease gun. Normally, the grease gun's carried by mechanics. It's 9mm. It's ugly. It looks like a German MP40, only smaller. Yeah. They call that the pray and spray, brother. So I don't know about his commando if he carried a grease gun.
Mr. Frost, did you ever manage a Christian rock band? And did you, at one time or another, were you a roadie for Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin?
No, I believe that's somebody else. He's grafted into his fairy tale.
Were you ever a member of the Young Republicans, or like the head of the Young Republicans in the area? Because he claims that as well. That he's a member. He also claims to have run for Congress or something out there.
I think he was trying to put his name on the ballot because he wanted to try and run for president because he had talked about doing that. Now, whether or not he did do that,
Tell you
I
what,
don't know.
for somebody that spends all that time in his chair, I don't know how he gets around to do all this shit.
That's what I want to know, because he doesn't like to get out to go to the grocery store. Okay. I don't, if his groceries don't come from Schwann's or the town market, every great once in a while, I will see him out in Manchester, actually at IGA or Save-A-Lot, and that's few and far between. Now, since all this Corona and stuff this year, I've not seen him leave.
And before his mommy started losing it a little bit, he couldn't go to the town market without permission to take the car. So I don't know how he would get back and forth from basic to AIT or.
No, I just want to.
As a superhero at night when he does this crazy stuff.
Yeah, how does the Punisher get around when he doesn't own a vehicle? But I want to just back up because you mentioned about back in the glory days of Von Helton when he was running for president, and actually, because originally we were going to have Kenny on in Mindbender, and I was going to play some retro stuff, and I actually have something queued up here. This is a guy by the name of George Bush Pimps on his channel Steal This World, where he actually did a counter to a Von Helton political ad. And I just wanted to touch on it. It's very short, but Von Helton says some very interesting, provocative things in this. So,
his name is Von Helton. He wants to be your next president. But there's something else about him we think you should know. He doesn't like black.
There he is.
And the ancient African tribes out in the bush still worship these reptilians to this very day.
I'm part reptilian.
No, you're an ally to the reptilian.
Oh,
Or
okay.
well, your
Well,
great, 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 great,
really
great,
and
great,
truly,
great,
the
great, great
Caucasian
ancestors.
race or the white race would be more reptilian-like
No, the white race.
than
The white race is
the.
from Mars.
Yeah. Even
The white
better.
race is from Mars.
Yeah, and women are from Venus. Yeah, I know.
No, Asians are from Venus.
Is that the man you want to be the next president of the United States of America in 2012? If not, like we've said, you're probably pretty smart. Vote for George Bush Pimps. Paid for by citizens for George Bush Pimps for President 2012.
There we go, folks. Yeah, so apparently Caucasians are from Mars and Asians are from Venus. And
Yeah, you're muted there, Frost family.
Hey, vote Ron Frost for president. So we can get them Irvies out of our life.
The real Punisher.
That's right.
yeah, it's uncanny, folks. It's wild. This is the man that Von Helton has basically stolen his military
For a
persona.
decade, we've been looking for depleted uranium nuts, and here we are.
Right.
It's right here the whole time.
That's it, right here in front of your noses. We just
Another mystery.
We hadn't got involved until this last video. It really pissed us off. So here we are. We're tired of his crap.
If it's any consolation, I know it's been said, but literally no one believes a word that comes out of that toothless motherfucker's mouth.
Right.
Let me ask you guys this. I'm curious
anybody
about
in here
this.
think I'm lying? Does anybody in here think I'm lying?
Not me, sir.
No, I have no reason to
No,
believe
not at all. But I do have a question.
What's
or
that?
at least, what do you guys say to the people out there, the G-Mans or whoever? Because I see it here and there. I don't watch it like I used to. But what do you guys say to the people that defend Von Helton out here and sort of are Von Helton apologists?
Anybody that supports Von Helton has missed the train, brother.
They need to get.
You know where that money goes? It goes to his computer stuff and, whatever. Hot Wheels, I've heard. He buys cars. And
a manly hobby.
Right, I don't know, But
toy cars.
Sending him, he's just blowing it on himself. He even when they had the kids, he had $3,000 computer and freaking microwave meals for the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Retarded.
Living ghetto fabulous.
Whoever sends him money is just empowering him to do that. Sit there.
Bingo. You are echoing what we have been saying for years.
If they want to ask me a question, I will say everything that I have said tonight in front of James Von Helton, if he is man enough to face me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to set it up. What I want to know is, are we using 10-ounce gloves, 12-ounce gloves, 14-ounce?
Hey, I got 50 on the missus right now. Any takers?
All right, guys, in the chat, who you betting on and how much?
Good luck finding a sucker to take that bet, pal.
In the chat, I want to know how much you guys got on this.
Only
on pay-per-view.
I seriously, everything that I have said, I will gladly say again to his face.
And I'd say I'd take him on, but I don't think he could handle it. I let her do it.
Yeah, you might better let her do it. At least
I'll take care of the work, honey. It's okay.
Well,
Yeah, we don't want to kill him. We just want to humiliate him, right? So
a little bit more about my backstory.
And I'm gonna suggest
when I first came back and they put me out of the Army for PTSD, I became a roofer. So if anybody knows about roofing, you know what kind of job that is. Well, I did it for 25 years, so I probably pack a pretty good punch.
That's a tough gig.
Dude, you could lick envelopes and you'd be in better shape than Von Helton. Let's be honest here.
Chuck Norris carries my groceries, bitches.
I'm 5'2". I weigh 150 pounds, and I can pack 50-pound bags of dog feed, chicken feed
I'd say
on my
she'd whoop
shoulder.
his ass. That's what I'd say. I'd say she'd put it on him. So.
I would
have it, folks.
She raised 3 kids. She meaner than hell. I guarantee you.
My children have nicknamed me Ma Dukes.
I just want to be.
I like that. Ma Dukes versus Von Helton live.
I want to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, Coming
And
in
this,
150 pounds.
I love it. I love it.
I'd love for him to even just have a conversation with me for 10 minutes right here.
I don't want to have a conversation. I just want 5 minutes in a room with him.
I want him to throw every one of those allegations in my face. Because I guarantee you he don't have the balls to tell me.
We really ought to start like a GoFundMe for this.
You know, I have another question, and this may be before your guys' time with Mr. Helton, but I remember a story about him luring a young Canadian girl down to his trailer and the father coming in to pick the girl up. I don't know the age precisely.
Yeah, Daddy's been gone 15 years.
No, the girl's father.
The girl's father?
Yeah,
right.
I don't know.
You know, that does sound familiar.
You may have heard the story. I haven't.
That does sound familiar, but it's vague. I've got a little bit of memory loss too,
I
guys. I
don't-
apologize for that.
I don't know.
It very well could have happened. You know, he'd been on there shopping for a woman for a long time before.
Right. This would have been about 12 years ago or so.
Yeah, so that would have been right before us and Andrea.
Yeah, I don't have that knowledge.
We've been here for approximately 13 years now, so that would have been right before we got involved, probably. See, I was born and raised by my mother in Ohio, and this is all my father's family, the Frost family. We just reconnected with them 13 years ago and moved down here. But
Well, the story is he met her on a vampire forum. They were kindred vampire spirits, and she was ill. And the only way she could be cured is to feast from Von Hilton's blood. So she came down from Canada.
So, to set the record clear, his real name is Irvin Helton. He added the Von. He went and paid and had his name changed and added the Von. His mother didn't name him Irvin Von Helton.
It's yeah.
Or maybe.
Now, just since we brought that up, because Von Helton, he's not only is he known as a storyteller, to put it diplomatically, he's also known to revise history and change stories as they evolve, right?
Right.
And I'm just wondering, do you know the story behind that? Like why he actually changed his name?
He told me that there are several Heltons in this area. I'll give you
Right.
like there's several Frosts in this area. Some of them we're related to, some of them we are not. Now, he told me that he was getting harassing phone calls for a James Helton. His name is James Paul, and there's an Irvin James Paul or something like that. He would get phone calls for this James Helton, and this James Helton was a criminal, somebody who had spent time in jail, and he got tired of being confused for that person. So he went up and added the Von. That's the story that he told me.
Now, originally, he had his original story because he's named after his father, right? Like his father and him share the same name. He's Junior. And he said the mail would get mixed up, so I changed my name.
Whatever. Whatever floats his boat that week, I guess. I don't know. But that he gave me the criminal story. I never heard that one because when we got here, his father had already passed on. So I never met his father, but
all we're saying is he's a delusional, pathological liar.
Did you hear him?
Yep. Loud and clear. Again, you're echoing, I think, what most of us have realized for years.
I think the true surprise here is that there really is a Punisher, but his name is Ronnie Ray, not James Paul. That's the true takeaway here.
Thank you, boss. Appreciate the vote of confidence.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. There's a few wild things.
Radio personality. I'll be the Snowman. That's my nickname.
Yeah.
His army buddies nicknamed him Snowman a long time
So
ago.
your army buddies didn't threaten to beat the hell out of you unless your mother picked you up in Texas? That's not you. That's the other guy, right?
That's the other guy.
Shaka.
Total out.
Total Shaka.
Wow.
In that, look in that.
See, unlike Von Helton, I can prove everything I say, boys. You know?
Yep.
Were you now, or were you ever in the past, affiliated with satanic cults that
No.
sacrifice children to Moloch?
Hell no.
Because he infiltrated them.
We're God-fearing Christians in these parts.
So you're not eclectic pagans.
No. He hell no.
When you first met Von Helton, did he talk about how the Luciferians killed his first family?
No, I didn't hear about that one. I know he stopped my daughter. Well, my daughter was helping me clean up some of the
What did he say?
nasty.
He's from the Sagittarius realm?
Yes, he told my daughter that he was from the Sagittarius realm.
The arm of Sagittarius. That's his Mandela effect. He's from the arm of Sagittarius. The universe is flipped.
Yeah, he was trying to tell my
The
daughter.
Sagittarius realm.
Yeah, my daughter's looking at me and going, "Mom, help me," and I'm going, "Julie, I need your help back here. Let's go start laundry." And then she'd run down the hallway to get away so she didn't have to hear no more of his crazy.
Are you related to Robert Frost, the American author?
I believe we are. Larry, you know yes, we are. Larry's done the genealogy on that one.
Well, hallelujah, Von Hilton's 1 for 2,000. Hallelujah, he got one right out of 2,000.
Yeah, but he's not related to us, remember?
He's not
he
a
doesn't
Frost.
claim the Frost. He's not
Oh, yeah. He
shucks.
relinquishes that Von Helton if you're watching.
Relinquishes it. He's officially not related.
That's right.
Now, what about Ted Nugent?
He's not entitled
What
to
about
anything
Ted Nugent?
Frost.
Well, he claims to be related to Ted Nugent, too.
Yeah, I don't
Larry, are we related to Ted Nugent? You've got all the history done. Larry would be the one to answer that question because he would have that answer.
But I do know that if you're familiar with Frost Cutlery, I am related to that guy, too.
Interesting. You've led a much more interesting life than Von Helton, I will assure you, sir.
I have a request for a question. The question is, do you think Vaughn is a danger having those guns in the house, especially when the kids are present?
Yes. Has anybody seen him point them at the computer?
That's another question. Another question. Maybe you guys could help me out here. A few years ago, when Mouse left, right, she came back. She had a story to tell. She said she left because they got into an argument, and he said to her, "I could kill you," and pulled his pistol and pointed it at her.
Wow.
Did he do that? I've heard now.
Were his guns ever confiscated by police?
No, his guns are his mother's guns.
Bingo.
He goes and gets his mother's guns and takes them over to his house.
There you go. There you go.
He may own a pistol of his own, but I don't know. Every time I've gone in there to clean, I've never seen any guns other than the rifle sitting in the corner, and you will find a rifle sitting in a corner in my house as well. So that's par for the course for any Kentuckian that I've ever entered a home. You know, there are a gun in a corner somewhere. But
not with kids.
I also do know that Andrea has thrown dishes at his head. So
Wow. So that's 2 for Von Helton. 2 out of 2,000. That's 2. He did say that she threw a dinner plate at his head and it almost decapitated him.
She did admit to me, she goes, "Yeah, I threw it at him. He was being an asshole." And I said, "Well, if he was being an asshole, I'd have probably thrown that dish at him too."
But to further the story, and this is from her, she threw something at a pop can or a mouse. That's in contention there. What she actually threw, but he reached into his desk drawer and pulled out his pistol and told her, "I could kill you for this."
It may have happened that way. I mean, I don't know. I heard about it after the fact. And after the fact, you know, they've made nicety nice, and she could have changed some of her story. I don't know. But can you see it?
I can see it. He's on a tank there.
There's some more pictures of the Punisher.
The real Punisher, the people's Punisher.
Right. One more. It's me on the right.
Very nice. Very nice.
Right.
Now, as you can see, it's a Polaroid.
Right.
It's funny that Vaughn doesn't have any photos of that, eh?
Right.
But he doesn't have it. Actually, just on the topic, just quickly, since we brought up the night in question, this is when Andrea came back, and Von Helton tried to get her to lie on camera that he never pulled a gun.
Honestly, he did say, you know, I could kill you for this, but he never did it because he loves me too much.
No, I think you misinterpreted what I said. I said, I think you could kill me with this. And I had this.
No, I saw you pull out the gun.
I didn't pull it out. I was reaching for a screwdriver. I was reaching for a screwdriver. See, John Chacon told her.
Well, you pulled, I saw the gun.
Well, you saw the gun in your drawer.
And to be honest with you, I was scared.
Was John Chacon when I just like I told you, when I reached into my drawer, John Chacon was talking to her at the time and told her that I was reaching for a gun. Sure did. Told her I was reaching for a gun. And see, even now she still believes it.
I'm telling the truth. You did say I could kill you for this, but you're not going to because you love me and you wouldn't kill your wife.
No, I would never.
I agree with that. Von would not do that.
You did put
But he had the gun in his hands. What you're saying?
I had the mouse like this too, and it
I
looks
know.
like a fist.
Well, I'm telling the truth.
It looks like a fist.
You did put your fist in my face, but you never hit me.
No, I never hit you, but I had.
That's where temptation comes in. That doesn't mean you have to do it.
Well, the thing with it, holding the mouse, it probably looked like a fist.
Andrea, Von didn't have the gun in his hand though, right?
No, like he held it for like a couple of seconds, and then he said, you know, I could kill you for this, but he put the gun up, back up because he knew better to not do it because one, he knew he'd go to jail, you know, two, he would never do that to his wife because he loves me.
No, I never would. But I did reach for a screwdriver, Andrea.
He called him like he
I was reaching for a screwdriver to fix that thing.
Well, that
on
and
that
the
table.
knob, that and the knob.
And the knob, like on here. I don't remember the knob, but I do remember that thing. On
He's trying to coach her into telling tales.
Exactly. He's manipulating her, but she won't. She's not getting it. And she's trying to tell the story the way it was, and he's like trying to stop her, right?
The guy's a dildo. I wouldn't trust him with a potato gun.
I think what I've taken away from a lot of this. Hold on.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Before you leave, because I already know what this is. Von is the most unauthentic human being I've ever seen in my life. He's basically pulled bits and pieces from everybody's stories around him and popular culture and just thrown them together as his own little personal bullshit biography. It's insane. I mean, it's crazy.
It's insane.
Anyway, go ahead and roll the
We gotta do this. We gotta. Sorry. Got everybody's adrenaline up. But speaking of guns,
3, 2, 1.
Just because.
Hey, Kenny, why don't you come down here to my house and find out how mad I really am? Hey, Kenny, why don't you come on down here to my house and find out how mad I really am? Come on down here, motherfucker. Come on down here, Mr. Badass. Mr. Badass, Mr. Keyboard Commando. Come on down here, Kenny. Come on down here, motherfucker. Yeah, I'll fucking open up my fucking front door for you. Come on down, motherfucker. What are you waiting on, you prick? What are you waiting on, you prick? Get your ass down here.
Hold on a second.
I'll open up the fucking front door for you. You won't. You'll be going right back out the front door, but I'll open it for you.
Will you?
I'm only 5 miles from
No, I
it.
won't.
Sorry.
No, I won't, dude. Hey, Von, we're supposed to have a kickboxing match, remember?
There you go, motherfucker. The door's open. There you go, Kenny. There you go, Kenny. The door's open. Right there. Fucking open up my door for you, motherfucker. Get your ass down here, Kenny. Get your ass down here, you keyboard commando motherfucker. Get your ass down here. Find out how mad I am. Come on, Kenny. You can make fucking threats behind your fucking keyboard, you little pussy. Why don't you say it to my face? Why don't you come down here and say to my face that my wife needs to leave me? Huh? Why don't you try it? Try saying that shit to my face, motherfucker. What's the matter, Kenny? You little prick. You little fucking waste of space. Why don't you get your ass down here, Mr. I'm cooler than anybody else. I'm a badass behind my keyboard. Yeah, come on down here and say that shit to my face, motherfucker. Tell me my wife should leave me to my face.
Shit's so funny with him missing.
Come on, Kenny. Come on, Kenny. If you realize, Kenny, if you don't come down here, I've opened up the fucking door. If you don't come down here, you will forever be labeled a pussy. You will forever be labeled a pussy. This whole fucking room full of people is seeing that you're nothing but a fucking pussy. You're nothing but a pussy, Kenny. You're nothing but a pussy, Kenny. Get your ass down here or forget it. Or forget it.
What did you do, man?
Told his wife to take the kids and run.
Oh, yeah, that was
What is Kenny in this chat?
Yeah.
That's right.
Damn, Bob.
Oh, hey.
You know what? Go in the bathroom
Kenny.
and get the salt and vinegar enema. Squeeze that shampoo bottle.
Come on, Kenny. Come on, Kenny. Come on, Kenny. Come on, Kenny. You fucking pussy. I'm going to make a video tomorrow. Kenny KPZ is a pussy. I openly challenged him to come down and face me like a man. He refused. He's hiding behind this fucking keyboard like a little fucking pussy. And I'll make that video tomorrow, motherfucker. You can bet on it. I got a whole fucking room of witnesses that you refuse to come down here and face me like a man. I got a whole room full of witnesses. What's the matter, Kenny? You can talk the talk, but you can't walk the walk, pussy? Huh?
This is why I was wondering if
you can walk, you can hide behind your keyboard.
Do what?
This is why I was wondering if he had any welterweight boxing fucking trophies. Yeah.
I've never seen any. No.
This guy's been pretty adamant about kicking my ass for the last 10 years.
Well, I mean,
dude, he couldn't whip cream. It's a chore for him to take the garbage out. You blow him, he'd fall over. Physical was nothing, dude. If you got any physical ability at all.
Well, I mean, he's definitely been asking for it for years, but it's just funny,
It's just all mouth.
Oh, of
My
course.
family
Of course.
been dealing with him.
he's calling you a pussy for not. But where is he? Why is it he's been invited to this chat room? Does he know that I'm in this chat room?
Oh, I'm sure he's watching this shit. I see 2 thumbs down. That's probably both of his hands.
Okay. Okay, because I mean, if he is man enough to say the things that he has said about me and my family, why is he not man enough to do it to my face?
He knows he's lying.
Well, exactly. He doesn't want to actually. He'd rather go on other shows, I think, where people will,
they're for
him.
They
will lie for him. They will ignore the truth for him because they want views out of it, or they want whatever they want. But to me, it's just so disingenuous. You know what I mean? The way they go about it. So,
Mr. Depleted Uranium.
So we got to leave this on a high note, folks. This is coming. The best is coming up here, where Von Helton actually does pull the guns.
Ooh.
That was an early video.
No, I wonder which gun he's got. I wonder if he's got the Red Hawk.
Here we go. You're gonna identify which one of my guns it is.
For my wife to leave me, but you can't come down here and say it to my face.
Is it a
You
shiny?
can't come down here and say it to my face. Come on, Kenny. Come on down here, motherfucker, and face me like a man. Or forever be labeled a pussy.
Yeah, but I know
because I guarantee you, I'll be on that video tomorrow labeling you just that, a pussy. I got a whole fucking room full of people that heard me challenge you openly to come down here and face me like a man. If you can't do it, you're a fucking pussy.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, I'm the.
Can you put your big old fucking pie hole right now? Now, first of all, when Kenny Capizzi comes and knocks down your front door, what the fuck are you gonna do? You ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. That's just my opinion. I think you shake your pants and then we have to change your diaper for you. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, right.
Which one?
Yeah, right.
Is that the black one?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Was it a revolver?
Yeah, right.
That's his.
Yeah, right.
It's a 357.
He's whipping out his mom's gun on me. Jesus Christ.
Got a shiny one too, a Black Hawk or whatever it's called.
I thought it was a Red Hawk.
Ruger Red Hawk, Red Hawk. Yeah.
Something.
And it's like nickel plated, so it'd be chrome looking.
And then I know does she still have the one that got left in the oven? And
that was a 38.
No, that
Left in the oven. Oh, wait, rewind that, pal. Left in the oven.
That was when Alice and her husband was young, and he handed her a gun, told her to put it up.
It was their vacation house, and that's where they stored it.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought Vaughn was going to cook bullets.
Yeah, no, not on her. She did. She blew up the oven, but she didn't know her husband. That's where he put the gun.
That's a different
deep fried hollow points.
We'll get to that one.
They had gone to their vacation home, and when the wife gets in there, she's like, "Okay, we're hungry. We're gonna start cooking food." She turned the oven on, not knowing that he put the gun in there and melted the handle and stuff. And
but he claimed to him and swears up and down there where they were his daddy's guns, which they may have been, but she got all that stuff when he died. They're hers. That's her stuff. So
are these guns in working order?
Yes.
Will these guns fire a bullet? Okay.
Oh yeah, they're real guns.
Oh yeah, Ron and little Jim and Big Jim used to go clean them to keep them.
Nothing happened because like I said, I don't think he's stable enough to have firearms in the home.
She also has boxes of ammo for all the guns.
He doesn't own anything in that trailer base. I mean, you look at the background. He does. That's none of that stuff is his.
Just the lice and the shit stains. That's all he owns.
When she moved down to this area before he did, and before she got the trailer she's living in now, the trailer that James is living in right now, that was his mother's. There's still her curtains that the white lacy curtains that were in the living room until I think Andrea finally decided she wanted to buy blackout curtains. Whatever, that's fine, no big deal. But all of her sheer lacy curtains were always in that house. I would always have to take them down and we'd wash them and get all the nicotine off of them because he'd smoke cigarettes and but that was all his mom's. That trailer belonged to his mom. And I think the desks that he's using belong to his mom's because they're so old they're holding up by a wing and a prayer.
I guess just after this conversation, the only thing I can think is anybody out there that's like defended Von Helton or blaming somebody on the internet for him losing his kids, I think this should be more than enough evidence for you guys to say, all right, let's just be real here. Like, Von Helton is a fucking fraud. You can't believe a goddamn word he says. You know what I mean? So I hope people that have been defended maybe look at this and just say, oh, okay, this isn't right. You're enabling a guy that's obviously neglected his children and made it an entire fantasy life that just never happened. He's still in this guy's valor, for Christ's sake.
Right. If any of you ever watched his videos and wondered who that guy Frost was, now you know.
There you go. There you go. It's uncovered here.
Hi, I'm Marsha Frost. I'm the one that
Mrs. Punisher. Mrs. Punisher and Mr. Punisher.
Yeah, I can play that game too, Mr. Von Helton.
Well, the only difference is the only difference is you're the real thing, pal. That's the only difference. You're the real thing.
Well, thank you, sir. Yeah, it's a shame that I have to go through this, but he's brought this on himself, telling all these lies, and I don't know. The guy's an idiot, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much the conclusion I think everybody comes to, inevitably.
Him getting out there and running my family's name through the mud, man, that pisses me off. Wouldn't it make you mad?
Oh yeah, and there's no 100%. Need. What audience is he trying to?
Let's face it, some slimy scumbag sitting over there in his mommy's trailer, running his mouth, and I can't really do anything about it except tell you guys about it. You know what I'm saying? So,
where is Vaughn? You know he's watching this. Where is he?
I hope he is. I'd love to get a hold of your punk ass.
And since you can't really go after him physically because you got a lot to lose, he's got nothing. But at least we can bring the two together to have this conversation.
Right. I mean, can't do nothing but tell you guys the truth, man.
If he wants to debunk or try to rebuttal
let him
anything I said,
come on with it, big boy. I got all.
Can somebody send him the link? I know somebody sent it to him before, but
Right.
I mean, Lord knows,
Joe
the hell,
Rogan knows
how
I got
far
the
away are you? Can you drive over and just hand him a piece of paper with the link on it? Somebody.
He can sit over there and run his mouth. That's all he's good for. That's all he's ever been good for. Don't nobody buy into the belief that he's somebody, because he ain't. He's created by his mother.
You know, even the people that let him come on their streams and talk to him, when they get angry with him, suddenly the scales are lifted from their eyes. He's a liar. He's a ninja. So even those people that tolerate him still know that he's a straight up liar.
Right. It's all just a charade because he wants to be a celebrity. He considers himself a radio personality or some crap. You know, so this is all
Only
just
Vaughn could be a
entertain
radio
people.
personality on the internet.
Right. So he creates it all to entertain people, so they'll send him money, and it's working. People send him money, and I don't get it.
There's also allegations of Mrs. Helton's property being full of oil. Is there any validity to this?
No. There's a natural gas well on that property, and she gets a little royalty check. I think there might be 2 wells, but the gas company's got leases on them, so she gets free gas. The 2 trailers are on the free gas, and she gets a little check every month from the gas company, and that's it. Now, as far as what the mineral rights are to her property and what's on there,
we don't know.
I don't know.
That's her business.
That's her business, right?
I don't want her.
Those questions are a little personal, I feel, too. It's people are asking for the dollar value of the property. I think it's a little bit much. He says $10 million. That's what I thought.
It's a couple $100,000 probably.
Well, a plain piece of land is 4 years ago
There's
was
a couple-
$2,000.
There's a couple
That
hundred
was
acres
it.
of mountain there, and there's a field, and she's got some rental properties, but there's no millions of dollars.
And just to be clear, there's no duffel bag in any closet full of $6 million cash.
Not unless he got in there and counted it himself before he took it.
I have been inside and out both properties, and I've never seen such a critter. So
now we have caught the old lady stashing money, but nothing like that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a pretty big coffee can to be
A
created.
couple $100 you find in the cabinet that
Sure.
the old lady stashed somewhere, yeah, but not no millions of dollars.
I would imagine a woman of her age and experience has
Right.
kind of seen banks over the years fall through.
Didn't she
Right.
live
She
through the
lived
Depression?
through the Depression.
So
she wouldn't throw nothing away.
Leery of banks.
Right. And
But even she sold 2 nursing homes and a bunch of rental property in Ohio when she moved to Kentucky. She was probably worth about 2.5 at the time, but then she bought that farm down there, and she spent the rest of it taking care of Irby and his kids.
Yeah, that'll drain it quick.
And then whatever she had left, he got because he.
You know, $2 million without any income coming in over 20 years can go quick.
Now, this is all my opinion. I have no facts as
Sure,
far as
sure.
how much money she has, but I'm just saying she's never been that rich, not that I knew of.
And we weren't around her for the money. We were around her because that was Aunt Alice. Even though I married into the family, the woman and I got so close that when we first moved down here, I was taking care of her older sister that just come out of a nursing home and was on oxygen 24/7. She paid me to go take care of her elderly sister.
Right.
5 days a week.
Right.
I would go take care of her. And I mean, I got close with her. I mean, the woman treated me like her own child. You know, me and her would get to talking and joking around. And if I said something, Marcia, and she'd smack me on the butt. Like, you know,
so this
busted my butt, you know, like she would her child. So that's how close Alice and I became.
This situation has been painful for us because that's my 94-year-old aunt, and we love her. But because he's down there, we won't even go down there. Larry brings her over here maybe once every couple months, and I get to go out and give her a hug and see her. But because that asshole's down there, and I'm afraid I'll kill him, man, I don't go down there.
I love that woman to death.
91.
Yeah, 91.
91.
Yeah,
She's in her 90s. She's too old for him to be cussing and bad mouthing the way he does.
I love that woman dearly. Larry can tell you. We'd go down there and Larry, how often would we put family dinners together so we could go down there and be with her? Family reunions.
At least 4 times a week. At least 4 times a week.
Yep.
And Vaughn's feeding her bologna sandwiches and Schwann's dinners.
Yeah, she loves a good pot of soup beans. I'd have to make her some soup beans and take them over to her, but I like Ron said, I won't go over there. Is Larry trying to say something? Like Ron said, I won't go there.
She just had beans yesterday.
Did she? That's good.
Yeah, she had beans yesterday.
I bet she was happy with that, wasn't she? Did she? That's good.
Mr. Larry, could you expound any?
Very happy.
Mr. Larry, could you expound any?
It's like Back to the Future.
Yeah.
You're
traveling time.
breaking up on me. I'm here, but I can't hear what you're saying. You're breaking up.
I'm gonna call Larry on the house phone. Maybe he can hear us better.
That's a great idea. Back to the Future. It's quite revealing, I'll tell you that. It's a very frosty show.
This has been. I've learned some new things. That's for sure.
You guys related to Jack Frost?
Hey, can you hear us? They're wanting you to expound on something. Can you hear better on the phone?
I can hear him asking me something, but then he gets all blurry and I can barely hear what he's saying.
Well, that's why I called you on the house phone. Maybe he can ask you the questions and you answer.
We're calling from the future.
Can you hear him?
Something about the future.
Calling from
There
the
we go.
future.
Mindbender, go for it. Ask your question. We're real time now.
Real time question. Okay, here it is. Could you expound on whether or not you think Von Helton, if he loses the kids permanently, will be evicted from the property?
Not if you don't get in my face. His mom's gonna make all decisions. I don't make decisions. If she tells me to throw him out, I throw him out.
Fair enough.
He heard you.
Yes.
Do you have any other questions?
Has anyone ever seen hard drives or other various computer parts strewn about in Lake Alice? Have you ever walked out to the lake and seen a computer at the bottom of the water?
No.
If I do, I'll throw him in and make him go get it.
That's our fishing hole. He don't want to mess with that.
I'm one of the men that helped him put that pond in there.
I've not seen computers thrown in the lake or hard drives or anything of that nature.
And you got to remember, it's also 35 foot deep.
I'd say if they went in there and confiscated all them hard drives and whatever they could find in there, they'd probably have a case against them.
That's my thinking.
Hashtag drain Lake Alice, folks. We need to get that fucking lake drained. We think there might be some hard drives in there. He keeps talking about hard drives. So
What? Where
I think
does
there might
he
be
hard drives from? What?
an old computer. That's a whole nother segment.
We could do a whole show on that.
I know what that was. That was from back in the 60s when he was a double agent for the FBI.
Oh, please.
Right. When he was 8 years old.
I've seen old computers and hard drives in the garage.
Bingo.
There we go. There we go.
Folks. Ding, 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 ding.
I've never seen them thrown in the lake. Larry, have you?
I'll just put this out there.
But they will be
Someone-
after this show.
Well, here's a question. Do you think
If someone was to get those,
do you think physically he could make it up to the lake?
No.
Right.
Well, I thought when the full moon was out, he wore his cape and did ceremonies out by Lake Allison.
Have you ever seen him in his cape out on the front porch, weaving curses and spell? He wears a cape. I shit you not. He wears a cape.
Look at my picture up on my screen. That's Von Helton in a cape.
Okay, I've not seen
I've
that.
never seen Wonder Woman.
That's Von Helton in a cape.
Have you seen James in a cape?
No, but my computer just says had trouble something and it kicked me.
Well, we got you on
we
the
got
phone.
you on the phone on the speaker. So if you have anything to say, they can hear you.
Yeah. If anybody has any more questions,
has he ever been a welterweight boxer?
Larry, have you ever been a welterweight boxer?
I don't know about.
I've been a North Hood.
I don't think there's no welterweight when we're talking about Larry. Man, he's a big fella. if he hits Larry, if he hits Irby one time, he's going to crack his face. I mean, this is a big boy. Larry's a big boy now.
And he's.
I was going to say, you better tell him, Ronnie, I'm 240 pounds.
Like I'm a Punisher, but I ain't Larry Frost. Okay, Larry Frost outweighs me probably by 100 pounds, and he ain't afraid to use it.
And that's very true.
He's good over there from
One thing we absolutely have to do is get a picture of Von Helton in the cape with the collar popped, so these people don't think we're fucking crazy.
I want to see this cape.
I don't even remember seeing the cape. Is this a new thing that he's doing?
New. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Well,
maybe he'd been a closet cape wearer for a while. We don't know.
I think we've just been paying attention to the ones that we're in.
Probably, because
Who knows what he dresses up in?
I can only handle Von Helton for so long.
Right. About 5 minutes max.
Well, honey, that's like you said. You only need 5 minutes, honey, buddy. I don't think it'd take you 5 minutes.
I don't believe it would, dude. I'm telling you, he's pushed a lot of buttons on me.
I think he might last about 30
You know,
seconds.
you can get on here and say whatever you want about me, but when you start bashing my wife, that just makes me spitting mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's that Frost bloodline. You can talk about me, but you start bringing my wife involved or my kids involved or saying I'm stealing money from your mother, I'm going to rip your head.
It's been all I can do to keep my sons from going down there and punching him in the mouth.
They're both veterans. They've been through the Army and everything.
Right. Travis is like, Mom, let me go down there. I want to punch you. Oh, well,
here we go. Here we go.
And that's what the trolls and haters do. Nitpicking, I guess, is okay if that's what you're
okay, right.
Simple truth.
And this one is the best. There's another one that's literally a children's cape.
95% of the time.
He's probably got
right?
Lila's costume on.
But the core of what I said is almost always true.
Okay,
does
that
road?
Might be Alice's mouth
95%.
Does that
there, which is pretty damn good.
That
that's where we're at, folks.
Hey, there's no bounds to his ignorancy, man. I'm telling you.
Oh my God, that was priceless.
I'm glad you guys went live today with us.
Well, we're just telling the truth because somebody needs to know it.
Wanted. I mean, I'm tired of him talking lies about my whole
Come
family.
on out, Vaughn.
Can you see my avatar here?
Who's saying that? Mindbender?
Mindbender.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's his cape right there.
The South African accent.
Super Vaughn.
Super Von Mess. That's what that is.
Yeah. He's the boogeyman's kryptonite.
Okay, that's adorable.
Or the aliens, or the reptiles.
The gray men.
So basically, what's going to happen from here is he says he's like a level 4 fucking warlock or some shit. So I think he's going to try to cast a spell on you guys. So I hope you have the.
Yeah, be careful. He's been throwing hexes out.
Children's Services is coming to your house, Larry. Okay, that's funny.
My kids took it.
Okay, that's
he's over there brewing in his magic pot, whatever kind of spell he's brewing up. Probably blow himself up. They'll think he was cooking meth in there.
That is.
Well, he personally, Marcia, he can send Children's Services.
Yeah, let them go for it. I mean,
You know, I got food. My kids are clean.
I know.
Do we have video of him claiming to be a wizard or something? I mean, I know it's out there.
What Snyder Handyman?
Right.
Snyder Handyman.
The
The,
wizard.
the last
Right.
video that really
That's
got
when he
us in an
bashed us.
upheaval.
You need
Is
to watch
April
that video
okay?
if you haven't seen it.
I know you don't want to go, but you know, if
There's sugar out of whack.
you need to go.
What's the matter with April?
Her arm's hurting her.
Oh,
Oh no.
well, we hate that.
I think she slept on it wrong. She said she fell,
Oh no. Okay.
and it's hurting her real bad.
That's not good.
Well, that could have been one of the spells right there.
Make her.
Do what?
I said I can't make her go.
No. So Snyder Handyman
Like everybody, you know,
on
now
YouTube.
that
He had a link to that video where he was
tried
bashing
to
us.
help Irving,
It was like a week or so ago.
and he, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. I told him the first time Children's Services came out there, don't mess with them people because they will take your kids. Oh, don't tell me. I know all about it. You don't know nothing. Well, let me fill you in on something. I got 5 boys.
Mm-hmm.
I know all about Children's Service.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, we know what we're talking about when we're trying to help him, because we've raised a few children. I mean, Ours
are grown and gone.
My Brian's what, 25?
You know, I never had anything against Irvin Von Helton. He had never done anything to me until all that stuff came down with the CPS, and he tried to blame my wife for teaching them kids how to smear poop on the walls and all that stuff. And then I guess he's spilled our name out of his filthy sewer more than once because they know who we are. Everybody seems to know who the Frosts are. So
they do.
So let me get this straight.
That's why I said I'm glad you guys are live tonight.
So he actually blamed you for the poop on the walls and the ceiling and shit?
Yes.
There's a video of him coaching that little girl to say that Marcia made us do all that.
Marcia did it, and then you hear him say, "So did she threaten you? Is that why you were making a mess out of the house, even though Daddy's told you not to do this?" It is. I've got this video record. I made copies of this and I emailed it to friends just so I could try and build a case of how bad he has slandered me. And this is, mind you, that first video that I heard about was about 3 years ago. And it boils my blood to hear that. I mean, I am not the cleanest, neatest person, but my house is not full of bugs.
It's shit free. It's 100% shit free.
I've got clutter from where me and my husband sit and play games.
No one believes that you secreted away a bag of shit just to throw it in his fucking bedroom. No one believes. That's fucking crazy.
Kids, it's time to paper mache.
Right. No, that's ridiculous. When you would go into the house with the children there, he's got alarms. The first round of stuff was hooking eyes on the door because he said they would get out in the middle of the night and I didn't want them to get hurt in the kitchen. Okay, I've had people that have had that experience because their children have done sleepwalking. Okay, and they've got up in the middle of the night and found the child in the sink with the knife. So I get that, but to put them in there when they get home from school after he feeds them, and then leave them there and say they're going to bed at 7:00 in the evening. I mean, if they're not over at grandma's playing and interacting or whatever, then they were, as far as I knew, in those rooms. And then after the hook and eye incident, he got in trouble for that. He got these little bells.
Hook and eye.
Yeah, it's a little hook with the circle and you just latch it.
What happened there?
Well, that's what she was just talking about. The locking the door when they get home from school, lock them in the rooms.
Yeah.
It's called the hook and eye is the lock.
Watch, I thought she was talking about a hook in someone's eye. I misunderstood.
No. It's a lock. It's a little locking mechanism. I don't know how.
I know exactly what you're talking about now that you describe it.
Okay.
And not only is something like that going to take a psychological toll, as someone pointed out, I was just going to mention, what if there's a fire?
That's that's what the biggest, because CPS seen these locks, okay, and he tried to write it off, but the CPS could see the mess and the food. I mean, you've seen the pictures on the internet. I don't have to really,
So he had locks
He
that
locked.
locked from the outside of their
yeah,
room.
the hook and
Jesus.
eyes.
Oh, so they just locked them
Diabolical.
in as prisoners.
Yep, it's a dank
What do I
fucking
say?
penal
Anybody out
situation.
there, so people know, these are not people from the internet. These are people that are related to Von Helton in his real world. They've been in his trailer. These are not internet baseless allegations. If you're still out there carrying Von Helton's water, defending him after this hangout, fuck you. You're a piece of shit. I'm sorry. Like, there's no other. You can spin it however you want to, but
Me, I can use the money. I'll spend it on my kids.
Right?
We can do this every night if you want to send me some money.
Right?
Exactly. I'll do it every night. You want to send me money?
Right.
I just,
I Von Helton for as long as you want.
when I would walk in, the worst one, you walk in, there's a pathway from the back door. You see the washer and the dryer. Then you've got a bathroom, and then you've got the girls' room, and to the left is little Jerry's room. And, the girls had each other to communicate and play with and hang out with. Little Jerry was in there by himself.
Out of control.
That's why he started playing in his poop.
That's why I was taking six different times with Kills Paint, and I could walk into this bedroom and go directly to the ceiling and tell you that's the shit stain from where I had to scrape it off of the ceiling.
Right.
And as we understand it, Jerry's special needs, right? Like
He is special needs, but not.
It was so bad that Alice had me go over there and screw the bed to the floor because he'd just toss it. He just
We would have
destroy
to
the room
screw the
from being
beds to the
locked in
floor
there.
so they didn't fall over with the children, because that they would literally move the beds all over the room.
Well, they have nothing else to do.
No, they didn't.
They're going stir crazy. It's literally torture.
The girls' room adjoined a bathroom, so he would move the dresser against the bathroom door so they couldn't get it. Well, they got so strong that they were moving this drawer. They had to take all the dressers out because they were climbing the dressers. They were pulling the drawers out. They destroyed several dressers. I mean, it was bad.
It was just from not being watched. They were
No,
just left to their own
devices, and it's not their fault. I don't blame them. These are innocents.
Well, they're locked in the room for hours at a time, with the entrance to the bathroom
Yes.
blocked off. What are they supposed to do? The children.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you're gonna lock them in their room that early. I mean,
And then Layla would scream, she's got to go to the bathroom. She'd get out. She'd go to the bathroom. Then they'd start playing in the bathroom. And my husband put brand new flooring from stem to stern in his home, and they flooded it so bad that they just had to replace it again.
Irby, this would have been family business, but you made it everybody's business. So here it is.
there you go, Irv.
Well, not to change the subject, but I'm getting a few questions here. Did Mr. Frost over here, did he invent the stealth fighter? Because Irvin Helton invented the stealth. I'm being threatened with kamikaze karaoke kangaroos if I don't ask this question. So I'm asking the question. Don't sick the kangaroos on me there, but did you invent the stealth fighter?
No.
We wish that would have been awesome, but no.
If that was the case, I'd probably have a better way of talking to you guys. You know, we'd be on some
What'd
fancy
you say?
computer like Von Helton.
What'd you say?
I'm not a rich man. I'm a poor man.
Right?
Are you aware of his child, his son, in North Dakota?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes, I would always
That boy
go.
does exist.
Yes, he does
His
exist.
mother was paying the child support. I don't know. I think
Is she
he
still
may be-
paying the child support,
he may be
Larry?
grown
He's
now.
of age.
She's
Okay.
grown now, but
Okay. But I used to go over there and help. When I would go clean, she would help. She'd say, here, we got to make out my bills. She would pull out all of the bills, and I would go through and I would write out the checks, and she would sign them, and then we would mail them. And we would mail the child support check every month.
So the bottom line is over a period of about 10 years, he's drove every single piece of family away from that property the way he acts.
Except me.
Except Larry. He's the only one that's willing to go down there because I'll rip his head off.
Well,
Larry don't play that shit.
And Larry's getting short on patience.
I went to him nose to nose and told him I'll drag him out in his front yard and beat his ass.
I ain't scared a bit of him.
It's
like to been a
official.
fly on the wall for that one.
What's going to happen? He's going to get his butt whipped, or I'm going to get my butt whipped.
Well, the truth is I'd say
I doubt you'll get your
the
butt
justice system's going to handle
Oh, I'm
him.
350 pounds. I know he's got a bad leg. I'm going to break his leg.
Sweep the leg, Larry.
Place your sweep the leg.
If they
Oh, man.
investigated the money disappearing out of his mom's account, I'm sure he'd go to jail for
He's
that.
already been court ordered to return it. And Larry, has he returned
He was been ordered to turn the $30,000 back to his mother.
And he already
Oh my God.
Wait, yes, this is a continuation of last time. We wondered about this money. So what? Please fill us in on this.
When Irvy took over the account, there was $30,000 in the safety deposit box. When I took back over, it was empty.
Right, and on
Wow.
that one video, he says where he took his daddy's money and put it in his account. He literally incriminates himself on that video where he took her money.
His dad's inheritance.
Dad's been gone for years and years and years. That was his mom's money he took.
His father retired from a company called Pease. It's a door company in Ohio, Hamilton, Ohio, and Alice, I think
she tells jokes about when he'd get his retirement check. It was like $35.
No, it was $25.50, and they'd go to dinner.
Right.
That was his daddy's inheritance. And she even said
his mama was the tycoon. She had, rest homes and nursing homes.
You just got to remember, when he was working, they only made $6 for a whole week worth of work.
Right, exactly.
Well, you're talking about back in the 70s and 80s.
So
we're talking 40s and 50s and 60s.
Yeah. So his daddy, what money his daddy acquired, Alice will tell you. When I sold the properties and we got divorced, I gave him some of my money. So he
bought that house down the street.
And bought the house down the street for him to live in before he died.
Right.
Because I would go clean. Me and the other person that she would have hired, there was normally 2 of us, sometimes 3, depending on how in depth she wanted us to clean. We would go down and we would do maintenance on that house after his father died. We would clean it every 6 months. Just keep upkeep.
Wasn't it you guys that helped me move all that stuff out of there?
Oh,
Yeah. And then we would, even at Christmas time, even though no one was living in this house, we would go and decorate it for Christmas.
Right.
Okay. So his daddy didn't have but what Alice gave him.
Right.
He was just mad because she controls everything. She still controls everything. He has no control over his life. She pays his bills,
fault.
and it's his fault. He's been there his whole life. It's kind of her fault. I think he's a product of her environment because she's supporting.
Want to know something? Since it's wide open, I'm gonna tell you something. Miss Alice asked me that the other day. She goes, "Larry, what do you think I did wrong?"
Supported him all his life.
She didn't put him over her knee enough.
Right.
Well, Alice has always told me
respect for his elders.
Yeah, when I was going down there to clean, she goes, the biggest mistake I ever made was to listen to his daddy and bring him down here, because she said, no, Irv, we need to leave him down in Hamilton where he's working and holding a job. We do not need to bring him down here with us at this time. Leave him where he's at. And his daddy said, no, I want my son down here with us. So they moved him down here. And it went downhill from there.
They've been supporting him ever since.
Everything went downhill.
Right. And so now he's took what money she had. She's living off of what little bit income she does have. And he's got everything else and done squandered it.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever meet Helton Sr.?
Oh, yeah. He was, part of the family. I mean, he was at the family reunion. I mean, yeah.
I wasn't sure if he
was actually
he died like 2006.
And he's actually not a bad guy. Nothing like this son of his.
Do you think he felt bad for his son? Like he kind of looked at him as like an awkward kind of,
maybe.
keep him under the
He
wing.
recognized it, you know.
Maybe we don't know. I came.
I just think the boy's strange.
Probably.
You know, he's strange. He really is.
He's
a character.
I came into the family after Irving Senior passed. Actually, I was at the funeral with you.
Yeah.
On Millville.
Right.
And I met Alice then.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been in the family for going on 26 years now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What we know is it's all just mouth. Period. That's not
all he is.
None of that's the real Irby. The real Irby's sitting over in that trailer right now, probably madder than hell.
And watching us all talk about it.
Because we're telling the truth and it hurts. God, it hurts.
Well, let me ask you this. Has he now or has he ever owned a horse named Trigger?
No. Did they own the horse? It probably wasn't his.
No.
Well,
wait a minute.
Hamilton, they have not owned one here.
I can't guarantee he didn't ever have a horse
I
named
think
Trigger.
Alice did have horses.
He may have had a horse
on
at a young
Warwick
age
Road because she was talking about going to the stables.
He might have had a
So
horse.
we'll give him half a point. 2.5 out of 2,000.
Yeah, he might have had a horse named Trigger. I mean, it's highly possible. His mother owned a lot of property and farms.
You should get a half for that. He should only get a quarter.
Right.
2.25. You got it, Larry. 2.25.
You can give him credit for it just because we don't have proof to discredit him.
Well, I remember Alice talking about on Warwick Road and having to go to the stables and get feed for the horses. So it's a good possibility
but
on
that's
that.
just further proof that his mother has, you know, through states, moves, and everything else, has supported him his whole life. The guy
We're
is
all on here. If any of you all know that,
right. The guy's a loser, man.
Tell him to contact me or Ronnie.
Larry.
I hate
Now,
to tell the guy about his dad.
other than the South Dakota kid, I have found on the internet there's another man out there stating that he's Von Helton's son.
Whoa! Breaking news! Breaking news!
I'd like to talk to him.
I'll have to see if I still got that screenshot, but there is another gentleman who's claiming to be Von Helton's son.
We'll find out.
Have you heard this secular opinion?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's listening to it. I know he is.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard that?
No, I did not. The only one I knew that he was sending was when Alice kept
Right.
sending checks up there every month.
I can't remember the boy's name.
And he does have a YouTube video saying that, you know, Von Hilton abandoned him at 6 years old.
Okay, is that the boy? Because I thought that boy was redheaded.
I don't know.
So you've seen the same video that I've seen.
Probably.
So wait. You're telling me there's more than 2 women in the world that would lay with him?
I don't understand. Yeah, I
mean,
He's also claimed in the past that he had 2 sons die. He blames Luciferian cult members that killed his sons in the womb. I guess this would be between his current children and the son in North Dakota.
No.
So that's all bullshit.
It sounds like bullshit.
Probably.
So as far as we know, 4 total.
We knew about the kid in Dakota, and then Mouse came into the picture. I never heard anything about any other or seen any other. You know, at that time we were around Alice's a lot, so we would have known if there was some other female around.
We were around Alice's what?
Unless she come like a thief in the night wanting ugly man sperm, I don't see it happening.
No, we don't got too many hookers here, so.
I don't know. I've not.
I can tell you exactly. We got 2.
2? Okay.
There you go. There you go.
You know, we would have never have done this if he would have kept our name out of it. But
yeah, you guys would have never known the true story because I've always said he has approached me more than once. Marsha, come and be on my live chat and help defend me to these trolls and haters. And I said, look, James, I have children. I don't need people to know anything about my business, and I don't want to know anything about what you're spewing on them live chats. I don't want to be involved. So
well, that's what like a normal person.
What, Larry?
I heard that.
Probably.
But you heard her say about the handyman guy. He had a link to that newest video where he was bashing us on there, and it was pretty hurtful stuff. He was saying how we're evil and we've cursed him and we're going to hell, and he even quotes the Bible and all this stuff. It's ridiculous.
It was Snyder Handyman that had that link.
Yeah. But that what really brought us out was that video that Snyder had.
Yeah, I'm going to hell.
Right.
And he obviously doesn't know me like I know him.
Honey, he don't know your God neither.
No. I will flat out tell you, I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
That's what I'm saying.
I read the scriptures and I pray. I read the King James Version Bible. Just before anybody has any questions, I do study the King James Version. But
well, you're going to need it because I guarantee you guys are getting some spells cast on you.
Well,
oh no.
Well, just I look forward to any rebuttals he may have because it's all going to be garbage, whatever he comes up with.
I'm sure he will. Listen, this is what we're going to do. We're coming up to almost 20 after 3 hours, 20 minutes, right? So what we're going to do is all good thing. This is like I said this before on another stream. It's like a Gordon Lightfoot song. It seems to go on forever and you don't want it to end, but eventually it does. So we're going to start wrapping things up, but I want to thank you guys coming on. And whenever you need a platform, I'm willing to do this. We can always go live if he does some shit. But what I'm actually going to do here is we're going to get intimate and interactive. And Von Helton, we know you're watching. I sent the link twice and he failed to show up. So I'm going to actually just let you guys send your message and your final thoughts, and Larry over the phone as well. I'm just going to solo you here so you can talk right to the camera and tell Von Helton exactly what the message you want to convey.
Larry, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Well, you know who I am, buddy. You know what I'm about. You know, if you want to take me in the yard, we can do that, or you can work with me with your mother because you're not ripping your mom off no more, period. I don't care what happens after I put her in the ground, but from now until the day she goes in, she's mine.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody out there want my name? It's Larry Frost. I am on Facebook.
Right. Same goes for Ronald Frost. Anybody's got any questions or concerns? I ain't hard to find.
You get a lot of people saying, how's Alice doing? How's Alice doing? I don't trust her around Irving. Honey, everybody. Alice is fine. She takes her pills every day. I got a camera in there, and I watch her.
Basically, Larry's taking care of our aunt and trying to keep Irby at bay.
And when Irby goes over there yelling at her, I get right in his face. I don't care. What's he going to do? Beat me?
He ain't got no business yelling at that 90-some-year-old lady, even if it is his mother. He's got no...
Punish me is what I say.
Totally disrespectful, man.
I'm 350 pounds, 6 foot tall.
Especially to the lady that's taken care of you all your life. I can't believe he treats her the way he does with everything she's done for him.
I know his dad's turning in the grave.
He got no respect for him. He don't have any respect for himself, so why would he have any respect for anybody else?
Mr. James,
exactly.
You can keep my name out of your filthy mouth. I have never done anything to you, against you, or negative towards you or your children. I never badmouthed you to Andrea. And if you...
We didn't put no curses on you.
And if you can grow a backbone and approach me and talk to me about your problems, I'm right here. You know how to get a hold of me.
If you call run your mouth, then I may go to jail.
Enough is enough, sir. Enough is enough. I have had enough.
But you want to
Thanks, everybody.
You want to keep putting out them lies. We'll keep putting out them truths, brother, for as long as it's got to go on.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
I think that's a good spot to leave it there, folks. So thank you very much for coming on. It was unexpected and impromptu, but it worked out good. I think everything's good. Thanks, Larry, and thanks, Schneider's handyman. He kind of was the middleman to set this all up. So, folks.
Very nice to meet you, Mr. and Mrs. Frost, the real Mr. and Mrs. Punisher. The real Punishers. Very nice to meet you.
Folks.
Larry, great to see you again, pal. Hope to see you again soon.
You know,
eat a dick, Vaughn. Eat a dick.
Right.
Later, y'all.
No. Later, guys.
All right. All right, folks. Thanks for watching, I guess, and thumbs up the video. I mean, we could go on for hours, but I think this is a good place to cut it. So